Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and my of mains, to HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom. We're here in we're in season 4, week 2, day number 2. I'm jumping ahead of myself on that one. I'm excited for week number 4, round robin as well. But my name is Bahamut, joined by Grubby and Justing, and we've got 2 amazing best of 5s for you today. But of course, before we jump into all of that, gotta ask what my friends got up to in their break from yesterday to today. I want to start with you, Grubby. How have you been? Been playing some games, I definitely saw.
I've kind of been walking on clouds, holding hands
Ooh.
with angels, because yesterday, before and after CCL, and today, just been winning. Which
Ooh.
and like the weird thing is, sometimes in Hot Storm League, you're losing, and it's just so tough, and you start to self doubt, and you start to wonder, okay, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to take Asmodan and run some demons on their side fort?
Yes.
It's just been winning, and what's more, it's been like easy. Like everyone's playing well, everyone's getting along. Then other days, like no one is getting along. People are arguing. I don't know exactly, but it's been a magical weekend. How about you?
I absolutely agree. I've had days like that where it's like, you go up 800 to 1,000 points, and then there's some days you go down 1,000 points or so. So it's the waves of Storm League. But of course, Justin, what have you been up to in the last 24 hours or so?
Yeah, I don't know if it's been quite as smooth sailing in the gaming space for me, but I've just been chilling, playing some video games. It's been nice just getting to relax after a long broadcast yesterday and play some games.
After the broadcast, I typically download the VOD and I edit the videos and add the spoiler-free stuff, and I upload that to YouTube. And I also do some notes and stuff like that. So I opened up one of the kitchen windows because it's finally getting warm in the town I live, and I cracked it open a little bit, and I left like a can in front of it because I was like, you know what, the bears have been active, and I'm not even kidding. 20 minutes after the opening of the window, I can hear the can being pushed in. There was a bear trying to break into the kitchen last night. I guess I had some. He wanted some of the breakfast I made yesterday, but unfortunately it was all gone. So that's what I've been doing. I've been fending off bears and getting ready for today's broadcast. But with all of that aside, let's start talking about some of the prize pool here, because we've got some updated stats, I'm sure, for all of you at home on that one. But as always, the standard stat that we like to break down for all of you is that 60% will be going to the players, first place taking 35% of said 60%. 40% will be coming back to Wisdom to be able to create amazing graphics, run the production, and run your favorite CCL league as you've all been watching from weekend to weekend. And of course, because of your generosity, we've hit $4,871.69 nice cents. And if you'd like to donate towards that prize pool, you can use ! prize pool in chat to get yourself over to the match arena. I have said that I will get Bandit on camera over here and give him a treat if we can hit 6,000 this weekend. And so we're a little less than 1,200 away from said 6,000. So I know we can push for it. This is for the players. Keep that in mind as well, pushing that prize pool a little bit further. So just hoping we can actually hit that 6,000 this weekend. ! Prize pool in chat. But I've talked about prize pool. Justin, can you break down these standings right now? Because obviously, we've got 2 best of 5 todays, but we did have some games yesterday. Maybe we can catch people up on maybe what they might have missed and what things are looking like right now.
Yeah, so yesterday we saw Wildheart and 30k solidify themselves in the top 4 by the end of this weekend. So really well played by them. And we're going to see a lot of changes in the middle of the standings here. Diamond Hands 1-0. They're the last team that has a chance here at being another 2-0 team based on how their match goes today. And we have Granite as well, Storm, that are going to be trying to make it into the top 4, or at least tie with Oxygen.
And actually, we can take a look at the matches today here, Grubby, and see who's going to go up against whom. And we can also maybe just chat about these 2 matches. But Grubby, please.
Yeah, we got Diamond Hands going up against Storm Esports. That's going to be our opening match. Diamond Hands against Esports. Diamond Hands having players like Nintori, Unaverted, and Godfilth. Very lethal combination. And they kind of gave it to Granite Gaming last weekend, which are those ex-HGC pros. Remember that? Diamond Hands beat those. The Storm Esports on the other side is going to be June, Mocha, Swamp, CPX, and Lauber. A very strong, aggressive team. And as per your stats, they were the only team that banned Junkrat while they had first pick. Everyone else banned it on second pick, which means Storm has a little bit less prio on that. He's a defensive range assassin, which means Storm is an aggressive team that want to go, go, go and dive. Then we've got Chili Mountain against Granite. We will see our ex-HCC pros from Granite Gaming again. Will they have improved a lot? We know they have the capacity. Can they show it here? Chili Mountain is a very promising team, but nonetheless lost 0-3 in their debut match last weekend. So it's going to be really tight between those two teams that had lost who will get their first victory.
And actually, Adjusting brought up a very good point about that Junkrat ban yesterday when we were talking about stat. Maybe we will be seeing a maybe Medivh from of Storm Esports, as that was some banned against them quite instantly. So with that, I am looking like we're having bubbles on my internet. Adjusting, any thoughts on just
yeah. Yeah, I can translate
please.
real quick for Baha. I think I'm the translator. We were talking yesterday about how the bans on Junkrat could allude to Storm being a team that heavily prioritizes the Medivh, because Junkrat is a known counter to Medivh, and Storm has players on it who were part of the I don't know, the coalition of Medivh pickers at one point in time. So there's definitely a potential for a Medivh first pick from that team. That's kind of a shakeup in the draft that we don't see the same priority of on other teams.
I think I might have leveled out. It might have just been a small wobble, but we'll have to see. You'll have to let me know if I start roboting out again. But sounds like everything is good. And so with that, with everything that is good, let's talk about the good people at Next Level Gaming who are sponsoring HeroesCCL Season 4. Next Level Gaming is a Miami-based esports center where you can play Heroes of the Storm among 400 other pre-installed games that are updated daily. Next Level Gaming is also a Blizzard Cafe, which gives you some extra benefits that you don't quite get when you play at home, like experience heroes being unlocked. Next Level Gaming also has an amazing PC option for you. It is a HP Omen with an Intel i7 processor and an RTX 3090 graphics card. And with such an amazing PC, you've got to have the best monitors out there. They got two options for you over at Next Level Gaming. They got a 24-inch monitor at 240 Hz and a 32-inch monitor at 144 Hz. Be sure to use !NXT in chat to find out all you can about our amazing sponsor, Next Level Gaming, the Miami-based esports center. Thank you once again for Next Level Gaming for joining us, as we also have another friend joining us. HeroesCCL Fantasy is back.
Welcome
We've
to
partnered
the
with Ball
HeroesCCL
Street to bring you
pre-show. My name is Bahamut, joined by
CCLMarkets.com,
Justin,
a free
and we
pick'em game that lets you choose HeroesCCL winners in real time as you watch the action. Simply buy shares of the team you think is going to win at the matchup and sell shares of the team you think is going to lose. The best part is you can change your mind at any time because the market is always open. Buy and sell all match long to get a better score. Every night, the top traders on CCL Markets will win prizes that you can compete. That will win prizes and you can compete all season long. Join CCLMarkets.com and win prizes as you watch today's broadcast. This is a really, really cool way for people to gamble and stuff like that. I know, Grubby, you talked a little bit about the excitement of this. And the cool thing is like, as you're watching these games, if you see a team wipe, you can just sit there and sell. And then who knows? I mean, you could change your odds right there really, really quickly by just paying attention to what's happening within these games. So it's a lot of active investments, if you will. And I'm sure Diamond Hands knows all about that one. Speaking of Diamond Hands, I believe we can actually start breaking down some of the rosters that we're going to be seeing in this first best of 5 of the day. I think we're going to take a look at Diamond Hands over here, and you've already alluded to this here, Grubby.
Yep, we've got Caesar, Salad, Godfield, Heavy, Nintori, Unaverted, and Kelsier. Kelsier right now on that substitute place. Heavy, absolutely fantastic healer, one of the best in the league. I'd say top 3 healer right here. And Godfield and Unaverted, they're such a deadly duo in damage dealers. Unaverted in particular, one of my favorite players to watch, because this guy, just like many of us in Storm League, is absolutely hooked on scaling talents, quest talents, and maybe some Hanzo Dragon Strike as well. Though sadly he went for Dragon Arrow once last weekend. But yeah, he's a very fun DPS to watch as well.
And a fun note also on Caesar Salad, we had just had a Kyle Ferguson video where he sat down with Caesar Salad from last weekend's, I believe it was the Towers of Doom match up against Granite Gaming, to discuss his Joanna and how he plays it and all the nuance in between. So make sure you head over to the YouTube and check that one out. But let's head over to the opposing side of the battleground here, Justin, and see who is going to be on the side of Storm Esports.
On Storm Esports, we've got CPX, of course, playing the ranged, June playing the support, Laubers, the tank for the team, Nazmaz is the flex or potentially the sub, I'm not sure. Maka, the range that we saw last week, playing Sylvanas quite a bit, and Svampgrada is the typical off lane for the roster. This is one of the more dark horse rosters, I'd say. This is a bit of a kind of mix of random, just tons of teams coming together from different teams.
Mixed bag, yeah.
A mixed, yeah. Words are difficult sometimes, but
it's a lot of. So is my internet.
Yeah, things happen from time to time, but yeah, it's an interesting roster. I'm not really sure where they're gonna fall by the end of the season. They could be a team that is either really good or really bad by the end, and it'll be cool to see sort of where they lie. It's interesting because that was sort of the same thing with them last season, where they felt like a bit of a wild card team, and even with a totally different roster, that kind of concept feels similar still with Storm.
When we were doing our power rankings before the season started for that season preview, I had put Wildheart and Storm kind of at that middle threshold because it's just like their rosters look good, but I gotta see how they perform. And right now, I mean, I'm wearing my Wildheart shirt today because they played amazing yesterday. But let's talk about what's going to be happening here in our first best of 5 of the day, because we know where we're going to for map number 1 in said best of 5, and we're going to be heading to Cursed Hollow as the first map chosen by Storm Esports. Diamond Hands winning the coin flip, opting for first pick priority, banning out Infernal Shrines. Storm Esports banning out Tomb of the Spider Queen. Grubby, that means we could potentially see Garden of Terror, but let's not get ahead of myself, and let's talk about Cursed Hollow here. What are you thinking about this map for these two teams?
Cursed Hollow is a wide 3-lane map where you can't really duo lane with your solo laner. As such, you usually have another ranged damage dealer serving as a solo laner for a bit, namely top and bottom need someone there to soak the XP, and you can't just go top soak and then go mid soak as one hero. So either you go double bruiser, double solo laner, or you make sure that you've got a global like the Haka or Brightwing or Falstad who can also man such a lane. And then finally it comes down to the boss. The curse these days is seen as a means to an end, with the boss really being one of the primary win conditions. As we head into the draft, we're going to be seeing how the teams are going to be trying to secure that boss. Wildheart yesterday showed a novel approach. It didn't go for tools that directly kill the boss and then secure it, like some kind of zoning capabilities. They went to go and kill the enemy team while they were distracted on the boss. They had nothing to isolate the enemy away except death itself. Whereas we had the members of Oxygen speccing heavily into things like Tyrael and Hager that can do holy ground and unstoppable spins. Those are there to conquer the boss, but Wildheart targeted the player. And that worked out well for them, and it secured them the 3rd victory in that best of 3. So let's see how each team will approach this map and the draft pertaining to it.
Two quick things here before I get Justin's thoughts as well. I feel like Hanzo should be a high priority on a map like this, with the ability to be able to burn through camps, as well as the boss with the scatter arrow build at 1 and 7. You could go for it at 4, but either way, we often see explosive arrow. The other thing that I want to, or excuse me, actually, you need the level 4. My apologies. But the other thing I want to bring up here is, Justin, we've talked so much about Stukov. In the first week, we had 4 Stukovs played, and 1 time it was banned. Yesterday, we didn't even see a single bit of Stukov. Do you have any idea why we're not seeing like any Stukov at all, seemingly in CCL? I mean, it feels very low in comparison to how much Lucio priority there's been, and ban as well.
So Lucio is a little bit different than most of the other supports, just in the way that he functions. It's quite a bit different than pretty much all the other supports. So Lucio's kind of an exception, I'd say, to the typical trends of support. I think things like Anduin that are able to save people from one-shots quite easily are a little bit more reliable right now for saving somebody, which it does feel like it's a very much focus the front line. Typically it's a double-ranged meta, which means that your tank is under a lot of threat quite a bit. Okay. And Stukov doesn't do the best job of saving them. But I think that if teams start experimenting more with things like double support, then Stukov will become more of a priority because he's a very flexible pick. It's not necessarily just about the Stukov itself, it's also about being able to be flexible in the draft with it, and that is something that he does that most other sports don't do. But he does lack that ability to save someone very easily until level 10, so I think that that might be a big part of the reason that we aren't seeing it a ton, is there's been a lot of picks in the early game and just compositions built around looking for picks in the early game that we've seen in, as of late.
And this right here, this Grubby, I think, is a prime example. Grubby, we saw it all day yesterday, getting clutch phase shifts to keep Muradins, a lot of Muradins alive yesterday.
And Garrosh and whatnot. Great percentage heal on that tank. And it's one of those globals that can show up fashionably late after soaking a bit of a lane or stopping a siege camp. The Haka now, as a counter global pick, there is Falstad still up for grabs. This also leads to one of the most recognizable Cursed Hollow compositions. Brightwing, Falstad, Stitches. if that's something that Diamond Hands wants to go for. You've got Emerald Wind and Gust for disengage and Gorge to abduct someone. Pretty strong. They could go that route, or they could pick up Hogger and Falstad so that they have a global and a great solo laner, and that's what they're going to be going with.
Nice call right there, Grubby. I agree. I love the Falstad. Gust is a strong tool to save around boss or even just disengage against enemies. Hogger is just strong in his own right. I wonder if we actually see a Joanna ban unless the members of Storm Esports are planning to grab this after the ban phase, Justing.
Yeah, it is strange. You'd think Diablo, Muradin, and Joe are kind of the top 3 priority tanks right now. I find it very weird that they picked the Dahaka so early, so we do see the Johanna banned here, which makes sense. I would expect to see Storm take something either Muradin or Diablo with their next 2 picks here after the ban phase. It's weird to take the Dahaka there. I think that might be mostly just a bit of comfort because we did see Swamp Grotto play very well on it last week.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they looked very strong on it last week, so I think that's why, but I can't help but feel that it's just a bit of a bad move in the draft when you have Hogger, Blaze, and Dahaka all available. They're all kind of around the same power level, so you can't really get banned out of any of them. So I can't help but think that maybe they could have gotten a different priority pick, like the Falstad, if they had wanted it, in place of that Dahaka.
And if memory serves right, that Swamp Grotto's Dahaka last weekend was getting like max range drags and stuff like that. It was like pixel perfect, if you will. So really excited to see a Swamp Grotto once again. I believe June had some pretty good plays on the Rhaegar as well. I'm just curious to see, will we get... That's what I was wondering here, Grubby. Do we get the Lauber Muradin? And we absolutely are. I'm loving this so far, as well as the Tychus.
I think it's one of his best fitting heroes for his playstyle. Yeah. Love it. I see you agree. Tychus is interesting. Removing Lunara kind of says we're trying to delete someone so that we don't want you to have Abolish. And then picking up Tychus, which is good into Hager, and also prevents the deletion comp, which Tychus is good at. It's quite smart. Blaze comes in. They're going to go with the double off lane. So that double solo laner that I've been talking about. But now it leaves Hogger and Blaze to share tanking duties.
I'm liking this. Justin, we're going to get this last pick. I got to get your kind of thoughts on the draft.
Yeah, I love that. The alternative would have been picking a Diablo, which into Tychus isn't the most fun. And picking the Blaze here, it actually, well, he does have a super high HP pool. It's one of the highest in the game. He doesn't really care about Tychus quite as much as some do. And Storm doubling down with the auto attack heroes. The point I was going to get to is that Blaze level 7, the oil that reduces the attack speed by 50%, is very ridiculous into things like Tychus. So them also going with the Grey main seems also a little bit weird to me. I think Blaze as the main tank is going to be having a lot of fun actually into the front line of Tychus Grey main. It's not typically you'd be playing into kind of more mixed sources of damage where you have to make the tough decision between either taking the spell power reduction at level 7 on Blaze or the attack speed reduction. This game the choice should be very easy. He's into Grey main and Tychus. I'm really liking what Diamond Hands has drafted. I'm surprised that up until this point we haven't seen Hogger and Blaze picked on the same team, but I think that that's mostly just because the other teams have been respecting it so much that they've been taking the other one as soon as it's available in the first picks. So I think this is Diamond Hands punishing Storm for that Dahaka pick that I talked about earlier in the draft. I really like seeing the 2 solo laners. Grubby had talked about it. The solo laners are going to be the bread in the game sandwich for Diamond Hands, and we're going to have a Blaze top and a Hogger bottom or vice versa. They're going to completely control the map with the Falstad global. They've got Brightwing global. I'm expecting Diamond Hands to completely take this unless there is a just massive outplay from Storm.
And I'm looking at these drafts and I love what Storm has. I feel like they can get super aggressive with this, but at the same time, oh man, that Diamond Hands roster and that Diamond Hands draft, it does look pretty good. And we'll have to see how everything will execute because we are just about loaded into Curse Hollow. Justin, as always, thank you for your analysis, your breakdown. We'll see you after game number 1, Curse Hollow, for your breakdown and thoughts as well, because we are loaded on in. As I mentioned, on the left-hand side, we got Diamond Hands in the blue, Heavy on the Brightwing, Notori on the Hogger, Unaverted on the Hanzo, Got Filth on the Falstad, and Caesar Salad to play the Blaze. Over on the side of Storm Esports, we're looking at Maka on the Grey main, CPX on the Tychus, Lauber to play Muradin, Swamp Grotto on the Dahaka, and June to play the Rhaegar. As we get into mid lane, Grubby, I've already kind of given my thoughts on the draft very quickly, but I gotta get your thoughts as well as what you think we could see here for Cursed Hollow, or just what do you think of the drafts from either side?
Yeah, I wonder if...
Whoa! Got filth, sorry.
If that hit everyone, that would have been GG. You would have 10 stacks, 20 stacks. He's got only 1 stack. Nice dodge. I think our friendly analyst Justin here is a little biased towards comps that don't have a traditional tank, because that's in his playbook as well. So the moment he sees Blaze and Hogger, his eyes open like a kid with Christmas. He's like, that's it. That's it. It is very good though, of course. Blaze, he got that level 1. He got that level 1 ability for more spells. He's definitely gonna get the oil that reduces attack speed. And this is what I call like practically a melee team from Storm. Greymane and Tychus are only partially ranged, only kind of spiritually they're ranged, but they manifest as melee, let's say. So
I understand what you're saying, yeah.
big oil is gonna affect everybody. So actually, I am inclined to agree with Justin as well. I think.
Did you just convince yourself?
Damn it! No, it's a full melee team. Like even, I mean, they could try to do Bloodlust to counteract some of that stuff, but they're a full melee team that's gonna run into oil that slows them, oil that slows their attack speed. Then there's gonna be a Dragon Arrow disengage from nice first blood. A Dragon Arrow disengage from Hanzo, and that's not even counting the Hogger and Brightwing and Falstad disruption yet.
I as I said, like I think Diamond Hands is a really, really good draft here, but I'm leaning on Storm. I think their scaling is pretty good. I think their execution can be very, very strong as well when it comes to Earth Grasp Totem, which will lock someone down that allows Tychus to sit with sustain. Maka can either go for the throat or a Cursed Bullet for just more percent-based chunking, and then you also have Lobber with the Bronzebeard Rage and just his overall aggressiveness. But we'll have to see how things unfold for the game. We're kind of talking about everything that could be, but we'll see what will be as the game does unfold in front of us. Actually, if we can take a peek into the top lane, it seems like there's a gank onto Blaze right now. He is in front of his gate, but Lobber's doing a fantastic job body blocking. The Jet Propulsion does get Caesar Salad away, forces the tap, and while there will be a camp to be grabbed over here on the bottom left of the Diamond Hands side, we are going to see a little bit of the gate in top lane get whittled down as well. And here comes our first tribute of the game, top center of the map.
All right, we have Brightwing not speccing into the Arcane Flare range, instead going for the auto attack range. This also gives her more cleanses. 6.6 range is not enough to cancel a tribute safely against the team of Storm Esports. No, not at all. Gasp, Omega Gasp. But he is gonna have more cleanses, and that can be nice into Swamp Grotto's lethal Dahaka drag tons.
For anyone wondering, a 6.6 range is basically Zul'jin when he finishes out the 75 stacks on the You Want Axe baseline. So if anyone has an idea of what that's like, there you go. That's what the Brightwing range is upgraded to. But I agree, you do have the Magic Spit value for that Soothing Mist, so I wonder if we'll see Critical Mist paired into that at level 7. Such a very synergistic talent with that 4 and 7. As we have Unaverted poking out 4 stacks on the Simple Geometry, 20 stacks on the Falstad. When he hits that 30 mark, he actually gets a jump in his percent damage. It jumps from 15 to 30, much like Vala with Fire at Will, how her stacks work out with that one. And of course, for anyone that doesn't know, the Gathering Storm is an uncapped quest. He can continue to build out that percent. It gets a nice jump to 30 at the 30 mark. As we look around the minimap, we look at the objective. Looks like June won't be interrupted by the scatter arrow. Lobber has to Dwarf Toss away, has the block stacks. Nintori floating around, but doesn't actually engage the lane, while Dahaka continues to soak bottom.
Bit of a mistake there. Caesar Salad could have got the interrupt there on Storm, but he decided to cast it on the target in front of him. But this was a choice for Diamond Hands to try and get the kill instead of getting the interrupt, and would have been nice for them to get that interrupt at least one more time. But Storm gets it. They provided a tantalizing target in the middle of the lane that drew attention away from the capping of the tribute.
Ooh, I wonder if Hogger might be getting ganked here. He's going to try and spin away. The Stormbolt won't connect. The drag does, though. Maka goes in. That's the damage. This is what I was looking at when I saw the Storm Esports draft. But of course, 10 talent here will definitely start to change things. When you have Blink Keels or Emerald Wind, you've got Hanzo arrows, as well as the Gust for disengage or Bunker for safety. And we'll see this next tribute going to be favoring the side of Diamond Hands. Storm Esports, I feel like they could still step into this on the left-hand side, but we'll have to see how things do unfold in the next 10 secods.
Let's see. What kind of interrupt tools does Storm have? They've got the quarterback frag grenade from Tychus. The cocktail is a very short-range spell. Merlin would have to get up in there. They practically have no delay tools. as we look at the objective, Murden was there. He was thinking about maybe doing something, but Lauber was zoned out. Immediate boss start. I guess what we're trying to say is that there's no way for Storm to do any kind of interrupt on the tribute. They either go in or they don't. And that's exactly actually the Storm Esports Lauber-induced identity of Storm. Full aggression, turn on the heat, and they're going to jump in. And we want to hear that on the comms as well, because it's energetic.
Oh, absolutely. It's infectious when you listen to him and the way he tanks and leads. We are going to see a boss trade top and bottom, respectively, from both sides. As I mentioned in the draft, we do have that serrated arrow from level 4 for the Hanzo to be able to just burn through the through these bosses and stuff. That's a burrow from Dahaka, as well as the essence to be utilized. He does have that tunneling, or excuse me, the lurker strain from level 4, so that's why he was invisible for a second and had a little bit of movement speed. Jet propulsion from Blaze connects. There's a purge from June. Yeah.
The Shockwave missed there. They were trying to get the Greymane. Shockwave missed. There's a Drag Tongue. He's getting CC'd. Bunker availability not here. He gets isolated.
That's a good jet propulsion. Here comes the Bunker. Self-cast of the Ancestral onto June. Burrow from Swamp Grotto. Maka getting low. The fort will fall, but Nintori's kind of locked into a corner here. Lauber with the Avatar form does back away.
A 5 versus 4 that Diamond Hands survived after capping the boss and using Falstad to stop the top fort from dying. I count that as an absolute win for Diamond Hands Bahamut.
Oh, I agree, absolutely. If I was an investor, I'd be swapping my stock over to Diamond Hands just because of the way that they're playing things. Yes, it is 1-1. Yes, the fights looked a little bit better for Storm, but these are marginal better moments in my opinion. And overall, when it comes to macro, the members of Diamond Hands are playing a stronger macro overall.
Yeah. 2 globals against 1, and managing to survive 4v5s is very encouraging for them. Now, we do have some information about the ults now, of course. We've seen them. This Cursed Bullet, so they are going to be playing mostly front to back if they can get their hands on Blaze and Hager. That's something they're going to sink their teeth into, Storm. Of course, they prefer Hanzo, but like it's pretty rare for Murden Dahaka to catch a Hanzo.
Well, it might be Murden caught out mid lane. Arrow is gonna swing on by as Falstad flies into mid. He's got Gust available. Seems like this will be a camp pushed in, but how much value, siege potentially, will the members of Diamond Hands get? Minimal to none as they back away going for Curse here. This could be Curse to the side of Storm, but I feel like Diamond Hands have the positional advantage, might be able to zone out Storm as 13s are around the corner. Here comes that brush stock from Dahaka, and that was, you had mentioned, you know, it's going to be hard to get onto Unaverted in the backline. That is one of the few ways I think that we will see Unaverted being threatened is those the tunneling claws from Dahaka, excuse me, the burrow from him. Phase shift was canceled by Brightwing for anyone wondering as Bunker came down from Blaze.
Yeah, so that means Brightwing can now again phase shift, and she did. Didn't waste any time after it was interrupted. Caesar Salad no longer Bunker. Cursed Bullet comes back in 10. So actually, when you think about it, the Cursed Bullet, it's such a friendly cooldown compared to phase shift and Bunker and stuff. They can try again. Cursed Bullet is available. Let's see it. Maka, is he going to hit a Cursed Bullet into anyone? Watch for Murden to engage and the Cursed Bullet follow up. Drag Tongue misses. There's the Cursed Bullet, just kind of poking, Falstad.
Falstad did use Gust earlier to deny June the channel on the objective. Nintori going for it right there, but cancels it. Caesar Salad being threatened, trying to step up, throwing the oil slicks into the bush while we have Unaverted constantly throwing out scatters, which does have the finished out stack. CPX walks into Hanzo, or maybe vice versa. CPX gets chunked a bit. Don't think they have well available. I can check really quickly if I can click on the model. Well is up in 19 seconds for CPX as we have this back and forth. Now, during all of this, we mentioned earlier that the bottom lane fort did fall, and that was a macro lead for the side of Diamond Hands, and Dahaka's actually going all the way to bottom to go clear that out. The reason he meandered and walked down there rather than using Brush Talk is because he wants to be able to join back into the fight over here, and Sister Healing comes out onto Lauber. Here comes Got Filth into the backline. Gust is available if they want to try something. Huge arrow from Hanzo, phase shift from Brightwing, razor swipe away from Maka as we
isolation on Brightwing, but he misses the Drag Tongue follow-up. Mighty Gust to save Brightwing. Shockwave and Bunker are still available. We've got Odin coming back in 3 seconds. Cursed Bullet coming back in 10 seconds. Lauber is running out of mana. He jumps into the fountain, uses it, and will be ready for the fight once again.
CPX drops the Commandeer, and this is the second Commandeer Odin during this fight that we're seeing. That is It's kind of crazy because Commandeer Odin, it's not an active cooldown. It's 100 seconds when it ends. Here comes Got Filth in the backline. CPX getting low. There's a very low Blaze right there as he gets inside the bunker. Heavy maybe has a phase shift, does have the phase shift, and that is the kill onto Blaze. This might have been the start of the end for at least this engagement, as Nintori will fall as well. Diamond Hands, they do not want to hemorrhage another member because they need at least one hero for every lane in defense as June gets the channel.
Wow, June gets the channel. Nice fight there by Storm. I can't believe we just saw a quadruple curse bullet, maybe quintuple curse bullet fight, double Odin fight. We had double bunker. What a long contest over this tribute. And to the victor goes the spoils. Storm has gotten that curse. We saw a weak curse yesterday. This is going to be one of the stronger ones. When you have a numerical hero advantage on the map, when you're able to pick up that large wave in the bottom, you get so much XP. Now they're pushing down mid for it. That's going to be a guaranteed. And after that, there's 2 bosses available. We've got 30 seconds left on the curse. There's now options. Go for bot fort, go for bot boss, go for top boss. These are the 3 options. Storm is thinking about them. Shall we jump into comms to see how they get on?
I'd love to get into Storm Esports comms. Here we go.
I'm checking if they're doing it. The Blaze is gonna come here and check it, but it should be fine. We can just do it.
Watching. Yeah. We don't want
There's
this
no way
to
they
get
fight,
tier
bro.
16.
We win frontline fight here.
I'm
Just
watching.
hit the Blaze if they try to. Arrow. I jump here.
Yeah.
We're far.
Okay, it's fine.
Double
What is the?
Double boss.
Yeah, double boss.
I will do ESA barrel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you grenade?
Rumble speed. No.
No, that's fine. Like one.
Okay.
I have 20 sec barrel, 20 sec barrel. More like
there are 2 bottom, they're not
fine.
fighting.
Should be fine, yeah. Nope. You're right. We wanna do hard camp as well. Me and G.
Man, I gotta say, Lobber's got some energy today. He is all in. Like he's dwarf tossing out. Also, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, he's got dwarf launch. He's launching out of the boss pit and bottom, over the wall, looking at a Hans, and you can hear half the team like, dude, we can't follow you.
You're far. He's like, all right, it's okay. Just kill the hammer at Hanzo's face. I'm fine.
Can't blame him though. I mean, putting that pressure onto Unaverted does just, it's constant threat, which I really do like that Storm Esports is applying here. It's that all gas, never really letting up on the pedal into the side of Diamond Hands. It's even Talonteers, but a fight might break out in this top lane.
Vision taken twice over by Diamond Hands. They even had the temerity to zone out Murden, despite Murden's allies basically encroaching upon their flank. But they did it for a bit, and it prevented his own team, Diamond Hands' team, from getting jumped on, since Murden was far and dismounted. Interesting. Boss takes down most of the top keep wall. That's a nice little result. That was a double boss play that got bot forward, top keep wall. It denied bosses, got a bit of boss XP. When I say deny, it means that, of course, it could not be taken by Diamond Hands. Now, 1 level lead, and that's pretty much the time it'll take for next curse and bosses to start respawning. So this is kind of a weird dead time where a fight is being taken by Diamond Hands that is very hard to justify. Falso is still bot. Blaze walks up mid. Another fantastic drag tongue, but there really wasn't much to fight for. There are no circles on the map that say that merc camps or tributes are available. Very nice pickup by Storm. They took the meaningless fight in a 5v3 or 5v4 and they got the kill.
I was looking at the minimap, and I was right when you were going to finish your thought, I was going to ask, I was like, Grubby, what do you do at this time? Do you set up for a gank? And I don't think Storm really set up for a gank. It was just kind of, Caesar Sal just kind of wandered into mid, per se. I definitely have to go back and watch the VOD for that one and see exactly what the positioning was for it. But it just kind of seemed like he ended up in mid where his team wasn't. And either way, Blaze is dead for the next 5 seconds. We have a tribute point over to the side of Storm Esports. And when we look at camp timers, we still have 2 minutes on the Bruiser camp for the side of Diamond Hands, 2 minutes on the side of Storm, as well as the bosses are 2 minutes, 2-minute 40 away. There's really nothing to do but maybe set up for a gank or just force an engagement through a lane. Half a level to go for 20. Storm Esports looking real comfortable on map 1 Curse Hollow.
So this is the solo laner is alone bait play. Naka pretends he's alone ganking, and he asks his team... Wow!
All right, there we go. Good guys.
shows up like, yeah, I'm solo laning, and then everyone else is trapping. And now Caesar Salad misses jet propulsion. He uses bunker. I think he's dead. I think Caesar Salad is dead.
The Stormbolt missed, but the just, oh god, Grubby, You've done this in Warcraft 3, where you just encircle an enemy unit. They can't go anywhere. I mean, Brightwing got the blink heal out, but yeah, that was a rough one for Caesar Salad. He is definitely getting bullied by the members of Storm Esports when it just comes to how quickly they make Blaze look like a squishy, quote-unquote, tank.
Yep. I mean, if that happened to Diablo, he's dead as well, right? Like, almost any tank dies there. Maybe Johanna doesn't, but even then her shield may be burned through and then she gets CC'd. I think anyone dies there. It was really the smart play by Storm to say, our solo laner is alone. This is your way to a comeback. If you want a 5 versus 1 before we get level 20, this is your chance. Go get the Haka. They served it. And my god, Diamond Hands, they could not resist. It was so attractive. They had to try. They got greedy. And actually, everyone was there for Storm. Blaze walks in, took Brightwing down with him to the grave. She died for his sins. And now, yeah, that's a double kill. That's nice. And level 20 is still not reached for Diamond Hands. They did everyone respawn, and 20 will be reached. So, at the end of the day, that move got Storm a keep. But it's not necessarily impossible for Diamond Hands to fight over this tribute. They're getting level 20. They need to step up fast, though, Bahamut.
Seems like there's a poke out from Hanzo to check the camp. Lauber and friends are just anchoring in the bushes. I'm thinking back to that engagement around Caesar Salad. Do you know what tank would have gotten out of that encirclement?
Cereal?
Yes, but also Cho'Gall.
That's not a tank, that's a mage.
Okay, all right. You got me on that one. That is true. I didn't get to say anything about Cho'Gall yesterday, so I gotta bring it up as soon as I can on the broadcast today. See, there you go. Justin's confirming. Cho is a tank, Gall is a mage. Boom, easy. Caesar Salad lands a huge jet propulsion. That's... Oh! Ouch! Lauber getting the Caesar Salad treatment right there.
Yep. Wow. He just stepped up and couldn't even use Avatar. A wonderful full CC chain with Shockwave, Staggering Blow, and whatnot. They even managed to save Dragon Arrow. They didn't layer all the CC. So this is Diamond Hand saying, okay, we're too far away. We cannot stop that tribute. We are going to get cursed. That's fine. Now they're playing for double boss? They're letting Falstad clean up, Brightwing clean up, mid and bot. And the 3 of them stepped up for boss, but mostly to check if Storm is going for the consolation prize of a 4-man boss play, right?
I'm like nervously watching all this. So Dahaka brush-stalked out of the position he was near Brightwing over to the Siege Giant camp as the boss in bottom lane will arrive to the keep front gate, and a little bit of hesitation from the side of Diamond Hands, but they will get that second boss in the top lane.
Going for the boss now since the curse is done and they mostly stopped all of the threats upon their keeps. What a wonderful turnaround from Diamond Hands, all off the back of that Muradin assassination. They didn't lose any more structures than they already had. It even manages to reset Storm's tribute count back to 0. And with 2 bosses off the map, there are no easy win conditions for Storm right now to finish off the game. They're taking this from a 2-keep versus a 5-fort situation to a 2 versus 4 with no win threats against them. So this game is now at 18 minutes and 40 seconds. Diamond Hands doesn't easily lose the game for another 5 minutes just because there are no bosses left on the map. So there's plenty of chances to use their globals, to deep push, maybe squeeze out a little bit more fort damage somewhere. They have Siege Camp going top. They could try to present a unified front in the center, do some fort damage, but they do have to be mindful that the best place that they fight, Diamond Hands, they want a small alley. That's where Mighty Gust level 20 is going to be at its best. And that's where Hanzo's damage is going to be most relevant. So pushing mid forward is actually surprisingly hard for Diamond Hands.
I'm still thinking. I really wonder what that curse phase would have looked like if Lauber did not die. Like what the difference would have been in that moment. Would they have sieged in? Would they have been able to end the game right there as well? And I agree with you. The wind tunnel, that is the biggest threat for the side of Storm Esports. If they group up, they clump up, they get caught by a wind tunnel against a wall, this is not good. But Lauber's a little far forward. He gets stunned. There's the wind tunnel into the wall as we talked about. Avatar will be popped, Ancestor healing not used just yet. Oh my god, good night, Lauber. That was, did Lauber take an entire scatter to the face?
Yep. I'm gonna check his death timer and I'm gonna say numbers. Okay, let's see. His death timer is... Oh my god.
What?
Oh my god.
Please tell me.
2,772 damage from Scatter. He took
Ouch, he
4.6k in under 3 seconds.
That Giant Slayer coming through right there at level 16. Just really quickly, some stats for Alvube. The Master Assassin at 5 and the Gathering Storm at 69 stacks. So Falstead looking real nice right now as we have 2 out of 3 tribute points to the side of Diamond Hands.
That was a lot of damage. It's funny because they might take us at Meriden. Then they're like, okay, he got Avatar off. Well, let's hit him a little bit more. Jet propulsion, whatnot, scatter. They were about to walk away. He was 40%. Then unaverted, like, gets that scatter. He drops to 500. They're like, okay, let's finish him off.
I think Lauber was honestly in disarray as well, because Lauber, like, that scatter went and Lauber still was walking forward, and then I think he realized, he's like, oh, my health, because like, I had the same, like, it took me the same time to realize, like, oh my god, he's dead. Like, 1 jet propulsion would have been the kiss of death, which it was, because you have collision course, which right now is 652 damage, plus the baseline, which is never that much. Right now it's 125, so you're dealing 770-something damage, if my caster math is right.
Yeah, something like that. It was a lot.
Oh, Dahaka looking to tunnel forward, looking really quickly. Dahaka did not go for the drag increase range by 20%. They went for that tunneling clause. Lauber lands a Storm Bolt. Here comes a Cursed Bullet as well. Caesar Salad very low. Bunker is going to come down from Blaze. That's a really good gust into the wall, but is there anything to make happen on top of this? Huge shockwave from huge shockwave from the Hogger, but he's out of position to do it. He will go down. Maka disengaging to roll forward to try and close the distance, and I think the members of Storm Esports, they want to run to core and end, but I guess they're not. The hesitation can be seen here.
Well, Hogger is down, but the 2 ranged DPS are alive. I think that makes it too risky. They do have to worry about mid bruiser a little bit as well. Let's see, boss, bottom boss. Oh, bottom boss is available. They're going for it. With Hogger dead, and with Gus still down for 20 seconds.
Makes sense. They could double boss too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's the top right boss is about 40 seconds away. With taking this down and making rotation,
dude,
Storm Esports might be early. Whoa, Lauber, you're going in too deep. He gets the dwarf toss away, but the boss gets the kill. Now, what does this mean? What does this mean? Can Diamond Hands steal effectively? Seems like they want to. Look at Gothfield's position. The gust is off of cooldown. This is the best position you can be in, but it's not the best position to help out your team unless it is. No, I mean, he's not. There you go.
Oh, nice. Unaverted there, shot an arrow, is it? Yeah, that was his arrow. He was 76 health. Falstad was standing at attention to gust for the boss. He saw Hanzo getting drag dunked. Unaverted's like, yo, a little help here. He's like, shh, I'm standing at the boss. I'm going to gust them away. He's like, yeah, but we're dying. What good is the boss if we're dying? It's like, all right, fine. Comes in, massive gust on 4 members. Hammerang on everyone, minus spell armor. He's trying to hit Greymane there and getting him low, but it wasn't enough. And then Unaverted shot that arrow. What a funny fight there. 3 against 3 right now. I think Diamond Hands, actually, they can get the curse if they. Oh, isolation on Hanzo! Isolation on Hanzo! Tychus
Nice
grenade.
Snipe. Real good snipe. June goes for the channel, so it's gonna sit equal 2-2 on these curse points. Man, I have to say, Grubby, for our first match and our first best of 5 of the day, this is some good Heroes of the Storm. Like, this is some really, really good back and forth from both of these sides. Well matched up. Gust is available, for anyone wondering. The drag tongue did not connect. There was a spin from Nintori. Boss is leashed, back to full.
This has been pretty fantastic so far. If they didn't kill Hanzo there, if they didn't get the isolation and then grenade. Oh my God, that's a strange position to fly in. But it's enough to shut this down. Or is it? It's a 4-on-5. Storm.
Murden.
Looking to continue to get it.
Big red button coming out for zoning. There's a staggering blow into the wall. Curse Bullet connects onto Hogger, who goes for a big spin, but he's getting a lot of damage applied to him. That's going to be a bite to the butt from June as he solidifies the kill. The boss will be leashed. Lauber getting very low wind tunnel, but a great purge from June to mitigate the wind tunnel into the wall. Another attempt on a boss. How many bosses have been attempted in this game that have just gone back to full? Because I feel like this is like the 3rd or 4th time we've seen this between bottom and top. But this time, Storm Esports will confirm the boss. A tribute is spawning in the bottom center of the map. I think Storm could get tribute and maybe push. Oh, I wonder if they just push with boss and they let Dahaka get tribute. Yeah.
The boss has 46.6k HP.
God dang.
That's a lot.
870 standard damage. Hanzo did rip an arrow. Here comes the tunneling claws from Dahaka. He's going to go for that flank position. The wind tunnel's not available. The drag tongue does not connect. Isolation on a 10-second cooldown. Huge chip propulsion from Blaze, and Sister Healing comes out from June as the bunker comes down from Blaze. There's that second wave of the Farseer's Blessing. Caesar Salad isolated from his team and isolated in his death as the rewind from Murden will come through. Greymane with the kill. Boss approaching core with currently 3,700 health. It's fallen rapidly, but still, that's a lot of health on a boss. Swamp Grotto gets hit with a massive scatter. Lauber still trying to make some big plays here. Polymorph from the Brightwing. Lauber gets the Dwarf Toss over the core. And ladies and gentlemen, it seems like Storm Esports will be taking map number 1 on Cursed Hollow. Diamond Hams will be falling.
Fantastic game there. Storm, actually, Bahamut, your prediction was right. Justin and I, we thought that Diamond Hands is going to do it. The Storm managed to circumvent and sidestep the slippery oil of Blaze and managing to make Blaze's life a living hell. Even if Lauber got blown up a couple of times by Giant Slayer as well, Caesar Salad they played front to back, right? We went in the comms, we heard it.
Yep.
They really focused down Hogger and Blaze, making sure that these actual non-tanks are going to have a hard time to play the game. Very well played by Storm.
Let's get Justin back in here so he can tell me how right I am and how wrong Twitch chat was. But no, realistically, Justin, I'm sure there's a lot you want to break down from this game because there was some fantastic back and forth between these two teams.
Yeah, that game was very, very scrappy. I guess it's sort of what you would expect from two teams that we would place sort of in the middle of the standings is the expectation for the beginning of the season. To see them be so back and forth is good for both teams. I could definitely see this going to game 5 with how close it was. It really felt like there was just so much back and forth, just picks after picks. There was about like four minutes near the end of the game where it was just staggering one person dead for the whole time. It felt like Diamond Hands was playing in almost a permanent 4v5 after the early game. This was a replay of the world's longest tribute fight that was for the first point for Storm. I think the Odin is really the thing that made the big difference here from CPX, just having the fight lasting so long that you can Odin twice. Odin is just going to get more value in a fight that lasts this long than most things. And Swamp Garada on the Dahaka, I had criticized it in the draft, but in the game, it's very obvious that he's super confident on this pick. He looked much more confident on the Dahaka than Caesar Salad did on the Blaze. It really felt like Caesar Salad was a little bit like split from his team in too many of the fights. Again, here Swamp Garada gets the tongue onto the Hogger. That looked like that was going to be just a wipe for Diamond Hands with that shockwave coming out onto the backline. So to just completely cut that off with the tongue by Swamp Grotto, really good. The isolations were really good. I can't give enough credit to Swamp Grotto on the Dahaka this game. He's easily my MVP. His tongues were basically what set up every single pick for the team. Here we see Lauber quickly getting doinked by the boss. that was a funny way to see it. It's a 1-for-1 technically, but the boss helping out. But just a really scrappy game, and Diamond Hands not feeling like they're quite as much on the same page as Storm is. Storm, I think, is just playing a lot better. I think that Diamond Hands had good tools. Gotfilth tried his best with a lot of gusts, but it felt like the team was just really not on the same page most of the time. There were a few moments where everything lined up for Diamond Hands, and they got those just really nice one-shots on Lauber. But outside of that, it felt like the team was very disjointed, and it was almost just hoping that things would sort of align for them as opposed to them being perfectly on point together, all focused on the same thing. It really felt like it was kind of scattered all over the place, that everyone was just not on the same page on the side of Diamond Hands, where on the other hand, for Storm, it felt like they were almost always on the same page. Mm-hmm. And with the exception of Lauber getting picked a few times, they pretty much played the map perfectly. So Storm looking a lot better so far, but I could easily see this going both ways with how scrappy that last game was.
No, I agree with you, Justin. As we were watching that, I think there were so many amazing back and forth moments, and I don't think this kind of feels like a good way to say it, but it doesn't at the same time. It feels like whoever can kind of like tighten up their gameplay first is the team that is definitely going to go ahead here, because both teams did have some unforced errors. Caesar Salad being out of position a couple times, Lauber being out of position a couple times, some over-aggressive moments from both sides as well. So it kind of feels like whoever can kind of tighten up their gameplay first is going to have that edge over the enemy team. And we can continue kind of talking about these two teams as we know where we're going to for map number 2 in the first best of 5 of the day between Diamond Hands and Storm Esports, and it is going to be Storm Esports choosing the map here, as Diamond Hands opted for first pick priority as the losing side. And Grubby, we're heading to my favorite map in the season. I mean, I love Towers of Doom. I love Infernal Shrines. I love Battlefield. But Garden of Terror is such a unique map. Much like Towers of Doom, you get some fun drafts, camps are priorities, pushes priority. I got to get your thoughts here as we're getting ready for Map 2 on Garden of Terror.
Yeah, Garden of Terror turns out to be quite fun to watch. It's quite dynamic. I think the weakest HoTS maps are either where you can't be anywhere safely, even if you're trying to play smart, like Hanamura or Warhead or Blackheart's Bay. You can't be anywhere because you don't have vision, and if you're behind, the defensive forts are too far away, you can't make it home, so you just sit and wait until the enemy takes control of the whole map. Those are the weakest. Then you've got like mid-tier maps, which are just generally good, but sometimes you don't have any hobbies, like Tomb of the Spider Queen. You're sometimes waiting for something to happen. On Garden of Terror, there's always something to do. As on Dragonshire, there's always hobbies with 6 camps, with 6 different seed locations, with 3 different push lanes from the objective that has been successfully won. There's always something to do. Either vanilla attacks on the fort, on a keep, fighting for the seed, mercs attack, mercs defense. So it's a very dynamic map.
And really quickly, because I brought this up yesterday, and I want to I want to continue doing this throughout the season of HeroesCCL. We use a lot of MOBA terms here, and while we're waiting for the bans to come through, what is a vanilla push for anyone that doesn't know? Because are they going to Baskin Robbins and getting some ice cream? Like, what's up?
Well, vanilla is actually a very expensive, rare ingredient that should be associated with a high price. But because it is so popular, vanilla bourbon, which is more of a vanilla-like flavor and not true vanilla, is a very commonly reproduced flavor because people love it so much. So vanilla, for me, means something very normal. And for many people, it means something normal and easily available and accessible, with nothing extra on it to adorn it. No cherry on top, if you will. So for me, a vanilla push is where you're not using a objective or a mercenary camp to do a push on a fort. You're just slapping it with your heroes and your hero abilities. This is possible, for instance, with Sylvanas, which is why we keep seeing that ban today. Probably a Mokka counter ban as well, with Medivh being a CPX counter ban. It's the same one from the first game. Yeah, it's where you go and attack a fort with stuff. Standard stuff.
And I think yesterday, Justin, your analysis, your theory on the Medivh play for Storm is definitely kind of showing through as we have a Medivh ban. But of course, there's been some bans. We're going to Garden of Terror. I want to get your thoughts here as well, Justin.
Yeah, we do see the Medivh ban, so it looks like that my suspicions were correct about Storm most likely being a Medivh picking team, as it was banned away again, or well now against Storm. So that does kind of allude to that. We see the Johanna picked up earlier than we have in the previous series yesterday. I like that a lot. I didn't quite understand how Jo was making it to the second ban phase every single game. That to me doesn't seem quite right. I can't imagine that she's gone from the undisputed must ban to a second rotation pick hero. So I'm expecting that priority to stay kind of like that. I like to see Lauber picking that. This would be a better map to try the double offlane thing that Diamond Hands did in the last game with Blaze and Hogger. But after getting burnt on it in the last game, I'm expecting them to kind of stray away from that. Even if it is a functional strategy that works and might even work better on Garden, I think it would take a lot of mental fortitude to not kind of allow that recency bias of losing the last game with it to kind of still draft it again. I think it would take a lot of confidence in the draft plan to do that again. So not a huge surprise to see them not pick up the Hogger this game, even though this would be a better map to do it than last.
We're going to go ahead and see a Chromie ban coming out here, but of course, Grubby, any thoughts on the ever-evolving draft in front of us for Garden of Terror?
Lunara was banned out by Diamond Hands last as well, so this time it's picked up earlier. Now Storm has the option to flex into Stukov. They already have a cleanse via Lunara, so that is an option now, something they could go for. Johanna, Stukov, it's okay, I think. It can be nice.
I'd agree.
It can be anything else as well. Lucio is gone. There's Rhaegar, Stukov, and then like the really weird picks that you would really expect sooner from Yazoo than almost anyone else. Whitemane, Alexstrasza.
We still have, I believe, Anduin up and available as well, but I do like, as you were mentioning, so right now, the members of Storm Esports, They've got a lot of cleanses. Johanna self-cleanse in a sense with the Iron Skin. Malthael can pick up a cleanse at, I believe, level 13. Lunara's got the Abolish Magic, and Rhaegar baseline has that Purge. He can go into Purification and be able to enhance that Purge a little bit and get cooldown reductions. As we get into the latter half of the draft, of course, Justing, I'm sure you've got some thoughts on everything that's unfolding as well.
Yeah, the Storm Esports composition is something that we've seen. It feels like a style of composition that I've seen quite a bit in the past. It was something that Naventic way back in the day used to play a lot. It was kind of just a bunch of poison damage, having the Lunara, the Malthael, and the Rhaegar together. It's kind of just a bunch of random spread damage. So, interesting, I guess, to see Diamond Hands just kind of not care about that. I wouldn't have been surprised to see something that can kind of mitigate that, like going into something more defensive like a Zarya, or even having like a Tyrael with a hyper carry could have been something they could have looked for, but to remove all of that, because there's going to be a lot of just random damage coming out, and Brightwing does do a pretty good job of healing that, but depending what their last pick is, they might get kind of stuck in it. So again, Cassia, that's a very aggressive and squishy comp by Storm. It's just weird. This whole draft is weird for Storm. Diamond Hands comp is a lot more standard. They do have the Genji played by Gotfilth, and he played quite well on it the last time we've seen that. The composition in general is just really standard. You have Muradin stun into Tychus damage, which is what we saw work well for Storm up against Diamond Hands. And yeah, the comp of Storm, I'm not entirely sure how it's going to work for them. It's unbelievably squishy, but if they get ahead, it's just going to be nuts, because Cassia is going to be able to kind of just do whatever she wants if they get ahead at all. And if you have to deal with something like the Cassia with the 30 armor that's diving into your backline, that means that you don't really have the resources to deal with the Malthael that also needs to be taken care of. The amount of just overall damage output from Diamond Hands might be a little bit too low to actually punish a Malthael. So as long as they don't fall behind on Storm, if they're able to stay even or ahead, I think their composition will work quite well if they're able to just go full-on aggression. But Malthael, the reason that he's not seen so often is because in the lanes, he's a bit of a detriment because he can get ganked so easily. So I'll be watching to see whether they can actually take advantage of the Malthael pick.
Well, of course, Justin, thank you for your thoughts, and I know you'll be watching with that eagle eye and having some breakdowns and analysis after the game, because we're here loaded into Garden of Terror, map number 2. On the left-hand side, Diamond Hands, Caesar Salad on the Muradin, unaverted to play the Tychus, Nintori on the Blaze, Heavy on the Brightwing, and Gotfilth on the Genji. Over on the side of Storm Esports, we're looking at Lauber on the Johanna, Svampgrata on the Malthael, Cassia played by CPX, June on the Rhaegar, and Maka on the Lunara. You know, Grubby, I like what Diamond Hands has. It's the exact same. It's almost like the exact same feeling as last game. I like what Diamond Hand has, but I feel like with double blinds, with the way that June's playing the Rhaegar lately, with all of the cleanse ability between June, Maka, self-cleanse on Malthael, the self-cleanse on Lauber, I'm feeling like this could be a Storm Esports win as well. But what do you think here, Grubby?
Really hard to predict, but I really like Cassia's plays here. Any independent auto attacker is solid attribute against Genji. Cassia is more than fine against Genji, and the synergy with Johanna, and she has the ability to blind Tychus in order when he's doing his minigun. So can Johanna. So use a lot of damage mitigation. It doesn't feel that squishy to me because of that. I like it a lot. I think Storm has the better draft. Now, in terms of wave clear, they have enough too. CPX got some trouble there on Cassia. There's plenty of wave clear here for Storm, and that's really important on this map as well. Perhaps slightly more than what Diamond Hands actually has.
CPX was just greeting for more stacks on the level 1 Lightning Thunderstroke. That's all it was. Even though he got 3, it's like Gotfilth last game with the Falstad flying into the front gate of of Cursal. You know, I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, I should try that in my own games. But you know what would happen if I try it? I would fly in, go for the hammering. The Dahaka lands the drag, and I die instantaneously. Teammates type GG report.
That means you're too close.
Probably.
Do it again and do one step back, and then if you die again, do it again, go one step back, and try to mark it. Like try to look for like a little piece of grass on Cursed Hollow.
That honestly, that is a very, very good tactic. Honestly, that's a very good way to approach it. Thank you, Grubby. You're like some sort of scientist, you know. You got these like theories.
Back in Warcraft 3 on Twisted Meadows, it was really hard to scout a main base to see if there's an opponent. Without going there and aggroing the creeps and dying with your worker. So you needed to exactly check which piece of grass, which blade of grass you could shift click your peon past in order to get the scout, but not die.
It's like when I watch speedrunners where they're lining stuff up for like zips or anything, like they line up with like one specific brick and then they jump to the end of the game, something crazy like that. But either way, let's go ahead and check out this first objective phase that will be spawning here on the bottom right. Godfilth is putting some big pressure onto Lauber. June will be able to come through with the healing. Does have that Earth Living enchantment from level 4, which gives some additional healing to allies below 50% HP.
Pretty useful. Meta pick there for Rhaegar. Yeah, healing totem was pretty legit too. Genji.
I was gonna say, can Genji get out of this? It looks like he will be able to back away.
Big showing up here for Storm. They want to make sure that this goes fast. They've got a problem in the top lane with the siege camp, and now they can deal with that fast by showing up as 5 and momentarily foregoing standard laning setup where you have one person per lane. They have managed to take it fast so that it doesn't keep getting interrupted over and over and over. They were ready to punish. And I think that's one way to deal with stalling that we probably don't see enough. It costs them a little bit of siege damage and maybe minion XP, but at least it doesn't go from bad to worse.
I'm looking at this top lane, and our observers caught this as well. We have Nintori got Filth in the bush, Caesar Salad was anchoring the bush as well. Got Filth waiting for something, waiting to make a play. Lauber will be the one stepping forward. Lunara throws her Wisp out, does have the Sentinel Wisp. So long as that's in a bush, it does get a ton of extra vision. Lunara trying to put some pressure on to Got Filth, gets the Swift Strike away. Caesar Salad Dwarf tosses out, has those block charges from level 1. And we are going to see Skullcracker at 4, Skullcracker at 7, and Sledgehammer at 4. So no reverberation for the cooldown onto his heroic by 5%, as the Stormbolt will land on the Lauber. Maka coming in, Dwarf toss out from Caesar Salad. June gets the mark over, Swamp Grotto gets the mark over the wall. June still chasing in. There's a cleanse on the Swamp Grotto, still being slowed by, I believe, the Oil Slick. Little blind onto Genji, but here is still our objective phase, top center of the map.
Touch of Death, 20-second cooldown ability for Malthael to reduce the healing received by someone for 50% for 4 seconds. He activated that all the way from across the lane on Murden when Brightwing was coming in, just to kind of flex that he can do that. He is going to keep doing that. He's done it there again in Genji. Really, in that moment, that heals Genji for what? That like removes how much healing? Like 10, 20 from regen. So, I mean, it's a short cooldown, so whatever.
Lauber! Stunned, polymorphed, can't press the Iron Skin. I'm just checking. It was actually just coming off a cooldown as well. I think I clicked it just in time because it wasn't like on a 10-second or anything like that. But on Averta gets the channel, we sit 1-1 in seeds for our teams. But Malthael, Swamp Grotto, trying to close any sort of experience gap that is forming. And I'm going to quickly look here. Where is the experience deficit mostly formed? It's just through heroic kills. Everything else is pretty much equal when it comes to experience breakdown. We got a couple, pluses here, minuses there, but in the end, it's mostly these couple kills that are pushing the side of Diamond Hands ahead of Storm Esports.
Yeah, interesting. I just saw the same thing. So that kill on, mostly that kill on Johanna, because the level 1 Cassia kill can't be worth much.
It's like 300-ish, I think, is the average for like a first kill.
Yeah, the second one is then going to be 600 XP, and that's pretty much the difference. So slightly quicker level 10, and let's see how that helps our team here in the blue.
Sorry, I was looking at minimap and I saw Genji just starting to agility in, and he's got no allies around him, but still a lot of mobility, so sorry, my apologies.
Yeah, who's going to stop him, right? Like, until Blessed Shield is available, he pretty much has full control over his own life. With Blessed Shield, that's going to change a bit. We saw pretty good...
Get it? Nice.
Johanna play yesterday, where Condemn was used to interrupt deflect, but it was partially a Genji problem as well, because the Genji, I forgot who it was, had a habit of jumping in, immediately using deflect with the same timing within range of Johanna. Let's see if Godfilth does it differently.
I think it was Nick, if I'm not mistaken, who played Genji yesterday. Not 100% on it, but that sounds familiar as I say it. There's going to be the face shift, the last rites. Oh my god! That's a kitchen sink onto the face of Caesar Salad right there, is because we had Blessed Shield, Last Rites, some Thornwood Vines, decent damage from Storm Esports, but also, as you had mentioned, that Touch of Death, really, really, really big talent to mitigate the Brightwing phase shift value, which would have potentially saved against that Last Rites. And also, that is going to be 5 seconds off of the Last Rites cooldowns, currently at 65 seconds.
Yeah, I was even wondering if we were going to be seeing Stone Form from Caesar Salad here just to help him heal up. But even that is going to get mitigated by the Touch of Death if Malthael plays it well. Now, that was pretty much a 5 versus 1, let's say. We still don't know how it's going to go in a full 5-on-5. We haven't seen it yet. CPX and Ball Lightning.
No way.
No, you're not winning the 3v1. CPX, you need some healing.
The
Still, one
ancestor
for one.
healing. Yeah, the ancestor healing doesn't come in time, but Caesar Salad will be slowed. Here comes the Genji coming in with some decent damage. Stormbolt will land onto June. Here comes the phase shift from the Brightwing as the Blessed Shield will not connect, but now Gotfil is on an island. He gets the X-Strike over the wall to disengage, but Maka, bloodthirsty, decides actually not to go for it. I thought Maka was on the chase with that Lunara, but still, Genji backs away, looking to see really quickly. I think he's actually hearthing out completely. No well available for 12 seconds, and yes, he'll be back at the Hall of Storms with Blaze, and I think we see... no, June canceled right there. Caesar Salad with the Stormbolt. Unaverted, just below, should have a grenade.
Level 13 is so close. There's a small chance that Diamond Hand still takes it, but see... Oh yeah, there he is. Genji going in. Godfield. Unaverted getting chased though. Lost rights. Whoa, he gets the kill! Brightwing couldn't do anything to save him because of the touch of death and lost rights. Swamp Grotta securing the kill there from the backline, going for the Tychus. He knew Rhaegar is 1 second away from channeling. He knew Tychus is going to come in. He was waiting there below on the flank. Another great game by Swamp Grotta. Interrupts continue, but at this point, there's no real threat behind it anymore without Tychus, is there?
No, Blessed Shield's up and available as well, which is a huge tool, but oh my god, the dip, dive, dodge onto Swamp Grotta. He's out of here, Murden over the wall with the Stormbolt. The cleanse from June comes through. They may get the seed, but is it going to be a kill? Wait, hold on. Caesar Salad gets the phase shift from Brightwing. No touch of death to be able to mitigate that one. Blessed Shield does connect onto 3. There's a blind onto the Brightwing who gets the blink heal to Nintori.
Yeah, pretty much a disengaged Blessed Shield. The Ancestral was good too. Eventually not required because Iron Skin was there. Blessed Shield not 100% required as well. But there's short cooldowns. Well, at least Blessed Shield is, and it's going to be back for the seed pretty much in time. Ancestral will be sorely missed. So Diamond Hands, despite losing Tribute, they did get 1 kill there on Malthael, and they baited out the Ancestral healing. That's a good win for them. I was worried that without Tychus they could not operate effectively anymore, but they got pretty much the most out of it that they should like to get.
This next seed's in a neutral position. Do you want to check out the Diamond Hand comms?
Let's go.
Maybe we insta-cap. They might have someone clearing top.
Yeah, 2 mid, 2 mid.
I don't know if I can.
I have to get out. Lightning ball down, lightning ball down.
Okay.
I'm trying to.
I'm on the
Channel.
and I'm looking.
Channel. Nice. There's someone below.
I think
Yeah, we don't get it. We don't get it.
I'm coming now.
I voted in.
Lunar's 1 HP mid. Lunar has it back.
Stop.
Care below you, be care below you.
Can we go quick? They have no Lunar.
Mount here. I got Mount there.
I'm on him then.
I'm coming
Okay,
up.
yeah,
Building. Collapse.
Fetch the shield out.
It's good.
Got it,
Can we just cap?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll hit Joe.
We can dive with bunker.
Yeah, I'm looking then.
We should get cap. We should get cap.
Yeah, we can do that.
Cap.
I'll go back.
Alright.
I'll do T.
Odin's up.
I'm with
Don't
you
worry.
here.
No, Odin.
We don't dive.
We're ending top as well.
Okay.
Mounting up and walking up and down.
I'm with you here.
I don't have anything.
Okay.
It's fine.
I'm fine.
I kind of like just hitting mid.
Are we just
at
in
bot?
We can split this up pretty good. Yeah.
Alright, that's fine.
I think you can Shingan mid down. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Top gets speed really fast, so it's easy still. We keep them here.
We
They're gonna be 5 here,
we see
maybe?
everyone. They're all split.
I can stop them.
I don't want to let him hit this.
Yeah, hit
three.
Hit
Yeah, he can die.
It's good.
Nice.
Very good.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna look here in a second. Look at me.
I'm not. Okay.
No, it's 2.
Okay. It's fine. It's fine.
I still get him.
Yeah, we got him.
All in.
Alright. Good. Foden in 20.
Probably. I don't think.
We're not in.
Mid
Let's
forward.
Yeah.
I was the first one jumping out of the comms, but I think I might have heard some battle cries as we were leaving there, Grubby.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was English. Whoop! Is that a word that you recognize in the Midwest?
Yeah, it's actually it's from someone from the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. It's a Youper, I think is what they're saying. So nice one on that one. Caesar Salad getting chased away here. There's a lot to break down in those comms, and I think we can talk about that now because it has just been kill after kill after kill for Diamond Hands. The biggest thing I want to point out, Grubby, is I liked hearing Caesar Salad saying mounting up, running at them. You heard Nintori also in there like, I'm next to you, I'm looking for stuff. I like that communication between the two people who really are setting up a lot of the CC for these kills. It's just been great communication on the Diamond Hand side for this game.
Yeah, and they keep getting offered extra heroes that, you know, obviously Storm doesn't think they're in kill range or they wouldn't be there, and Diamond Hands disagrees, and they keep proving that it is so. Getting kill after kill, it's been a chain killing catastrophe here for Storm and Diamond Hands. They got 1 keep. They're going for a 2nd keep. They've got 6 forwards. This game started off close, and now suddenly it's not.
That was a ball lightning, a blessed shield. Here comes the Earth Grasp Totem, the last rites, and that is a kill onto Blaze. No bunker available for 60 as Caesar Salad gets the Dwarf Toss over the wall. CPX goes in for the Fend. That's an insta mount with the level 13, the War Traveler from that Cassie, if you're wondering how she got mounted up so quickly. Good Stormbolt from Caesar Salad to disengage the enemy from chasing in further. Another seed will be spawning. This timing kind of pairs right over when the Blaze spawns, so as long as Diamond Hands can delay on their side of the map, which is favoring them, with the wells as well available on the top and bottom lane, or top and mid lane, I feel like Storm just gives this, and they just look to de-push their lanes. But as I look at the positioning, that's not the case. They want the kill on the Genji.
Anti-heal goes in, Genji, X strikes away, Heavy becomes a new target, gets away. Burden here coming in with the zoning. Okay. Nice escape there for Diamond Hands. They did get X-Strike out of Genji. That's an escape and an engage damage follow-up. So not a bad result for Storm. And I agree with you. I thought this was going to be a hard place to attack into as well. And it's kind of being proven. Note the complete lackadaisical approach that Tychus is employing here. He's like, hey, you guys are cool, right? I'm just going to take this camp unaverted. Taking Bruiser camp.
There's catapults already on core, so as long as Diamond Hands just doesn't hemorrhage players, they'll be fine. And okay, well that's not good right there. But meanwhile, here's the thing: catapults on bottom, Siege Giants in mid, Siege Giants in top that are threatening onto potential keep. Joanna should be able to delay that out. And this Garden Tear phase, if gotten by the side of Storm Esports, it spawns up as far as your minion wave, which basically all 3 minion waves are at the core. So these 3 Garden Terrors spawn keep core area for the side of Storm Esports, which this is more defensive than anything else. We've talked about this on other maps, and for anyone wondering, because these catapults are chunking 490. No, actually, some of the catapults are. Oh, I clicked on the Garden Terror, so it's around like 500-ish damage into structures from the catapults, and there were 3 of them chunking in for about 28% off the Storm Esports core.
Yeah, a lot of damage there on the core. Plant Terror is going to basically die to the Bruiser Camp and Catapult in the bottom lane, so it's just kind of the breaks, the hand breaks on the bottom lane. Same thing for top lane, really. Just the hand breaks on keeping their keep alive. The push is through the center, and Storm tier talents are on the cusp for Diamond Hands. So Storm, they've got to be creative here. Keep is a bridge too far. They're gonna try to either blow someone up here in the center or round up on Genji and try to get a kill there. But look at that, seconds. The clock is ticking. Level 20 is about to be reached. It's difficult to get a victory against a level 20 team.
And there's no Blessed Shield either. That was actually whiffed trying to connect onto Caesar Salad, but got filth. Caesar Salad, they're chasing in. Caesar Salad, he's a little far forward from the rest of his team that are still rotating into this engagement, but I feel like it is, I said it in the last game, it feels all gas from Storm. This feels all gas from the side of Diamond Hands, as Queen Nightshade's terrors will end for the time being. Neither team with a seed just yet.
And now Diamond Hands is starting to leverage their advantage. I would imagine that they want Tychus to grenade down the top keep. Grenade right now does 560 damage plus 50%, about 800 damage. So no, that's too many grenades. He would need 5 grenades to kill top keep. Because ideally, you want to use big red button here to take down mid keep.
Yes, yeah,
because it's
I guess you could look for a world where you push up the wave, pop big red button, take down the keep quickly, and then rotate into mid looking for the double keep play. But that is still really risky. That's a lot of siege to be had, and it's typically not offered up, but here we go. We'll see if that's going to be the case. Genji comes in with a bunch of shurikens. Okay, I don't know if Unaverted really needed the big red button immediate there, if Got Filth is going to be the one to go through. But it doesn't matter. We're talking about seconds in difference. Yeah.
It's like you said, they use Odin in top, around on the center here, and Odin has a pretty long duration now, 33 seconds, so it should still be like 20 seconds left almost. Going for the mid keep now. Iron Skin has been used. Odin continuing to shell away on the keep. Level 20 is about to be reached though, and no seeds means that the safest thing for Diamond Hands is to escape real early before the back transformation on Tychus. Lauber ideally would love to have a Blessed Shield on an escaping Tychus so that they can go get a kill. There's still 1 versus 5 forts.
9-5 in kills. Nintori with an attempt to delay over the wall, but June has the position in the channel, and that will be 1 seed over to the side of Storm Esports. I'm quickly checking just the catapult stats, as it is 662 damage into structures, 331 standard. But let's talk about the fight that's going to break out right now. There's a blessed shield from the Joannas. That's a lot of damage onto the bunker down from Blaze. Nintori trying to back away as we have just the living weapon resets for Genji. He doesn't get another one right there. Gottfeld trying to back away. Takes a lot of damage. Caesar Salad with the Thunderclap. That's a lot of damage onto Gottfeld, who gets the blink heal from Heavy. Heavy's trying to just help out with the double blink heal, and Gottfeld backs away. The last rights is available, but it won't go out. And really, a lot of good aggression. Not a ton of tools used by Storm Esports. Yes, Bless Shield. Yes, Ball Lightning. Those are low cooldowns. We're already going to have Ball Lightning up in 30, Bless Shield up in 28. Thornwood Vines is getting stacks back already.
It's funny, he went for the triple X strike and it looked like it did almost no damage.
Yeah, I agree.
Just because there was like almost nothing else hitting them. Like, Dicus didn't have Odin, so there's no other splash damage. Didn't feel safe to step up. And at the end of the day, Diamond Hands' damage source looks pretty strange outside of Odin, because Dicus doesn't really just want to go up and cast Minigun, because there's like 3 blinds from Johanna and Cassiel all together. So those fights are tough, and Storm did well to jump in there. They stole the siege camp. Now the map is getting inundated in pressure again. This remains on Diamond Hands' side for now. Map pressure. They're actually engaging in the top lane just to buy time for the bottom catapults.
Yeah, the bottom catapults have arrived at core. They're going to start shredding through the shielding, as there's the Commandeer with the big red button to continue opening things up through mid. Malthael to manage bottom lane. The bust shield from Joanna does come out. She does have the level 20 blinded by the light, so she'll shield glares for the cooldown reduction, but also giving out the ally shielding as they chase in. Ball Lightning goes out as well. That's not infinite, because we have that, I think it's Rock Stopper at level 20 for the Cassia. And bottom lane needs to be cleared as another seed spawns. Oh man, I said it in game 1, but Grubby, I'm loving this. These are some top tier teams in my opinion. I love the back and forth between Diamond Hands and Storm Esports. Yeah,
and I love the way Diamond Hands is playing it. Really leaning heavily into we lose nobody or 1 max, and then they literally can't lose the game if they play it that way. And first you need to not be beatable, then you can worry about how to win. And that's a surefire way to get the victory. I'd even love to see Genji go to the mid keep now and just finish it off. Of course, he wants to be sure. Yeah, there he's going. He's like, he's not even sure his allies can make it out. You know what I mean? Like, you could try to follow up, but when you don't have Odin, you can't win the fight anyway. So you lose 1 or 2. Actually, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. 2 heroes are down.
But someone on the side of Storm Esports has to go back to clear. These catapults deal a lot of damage. Yes, getting these kills is really good, and staggering out deaths is even better, but you can't just let these catapults go to core. And so we already have the Joanna Malthael back at core, and they're gonna just try and de-push things as quickly as possible. Muradin is delaying things out with the help of Heavy. There's CPX coming in. There's a rewind. That's a Ball Lightning. Got Filth in the backline as well. Maka low. War Traveler to chase onto Caesar Salad as the Ancestor Healing will come through. Maka getting that Farseer's Blessing. Cassia, CPX goes in once again with the Fend. Caesar Salad low. Lawber and friends clear out the core. 2 out of 3 seeds to the side of Storm Esports. This is, oh man, I'm having a blast with this map. I'm having so much fun with this one, Grubby.
It's so hard to keep stopping all those waves against so much catapult pressure. It helps so much, even if Storm was just able to take down top forward, bottom forward.
Right?
Just do it, right? Because you get like 1 catapult per 3 waves. It helps in the accumulation of pressure. But when you don't even have that, there's so much pressure from top and bottom. It needs to be cleared out. You're always counting waves. Okay, do I push out 1 more? But there's another thing to be done on the map. This is what we were talking about at the start of the game. There's so many hobbies. There's always camps to be pushed and de-pushed. This moment, top siege, Rosa here. Now, we're getting to a place where it gets a little bit challenging for Diamond Hands. They're in this really comfortable position. We don't need to fight, don't need to fight, don't need to fight. Maybe suddenly you do. You give away this seed. Terrorists come up. Do you just forfeit it? I think you just forfeit it, to be honest.
Lawber is going to step forward here. I have some quick math that I did, some quick caster math. Every Cassia Q is roughly 520 damage currently. Between the baseline and the additional scaling from the level 1 Thunderstroke, a Q from Cassia is around 500 plus damage, which is terrifying because there's 2 charges on that as well. So if CPX lands 2 Qs, that's 1,000 HP off of something like
it's
a Bright
4 charges now. It's 4 charges from the 16.
You are right. Yes, you're
and
right.
another one on the fend, so it's quite a lot. But I will say that 81 scaling is quite low for this phase in the game.
Okay.
It's because it's Garden. It's because it's not Storm League. In Storm League at level 22, you're gonna have like 130 by now.
CPX get better, but oh my god, that's Lobber with a huge blessed shield. There's a big red button from Unaverted. X-Strike, Living Weapon, doesn't get the full reset. Avatar from Murden, Lacerates as well. Phase Shift from Brightwing. Heavy trying to do his best to heal up this team. Genji dives in with the agility. Cleanse from the Rhaegar. June trying to help out as much as he can. Ancestral Healing is off of cooldown as the Guard Terran top lane will confirm the fort 23 minutes into this game. When it comes to holding, Storm Esports, they're holding really strong. Big Storm Shield from Joanna. Cassie with the Fen. Unaverted getting low. X-Strike from Genji. Down at 18 seconds for the cooldown. A lot of damage onto Lobber, who gets the Ancestor Healing just in time. Caesar Sal to Dwarf toss away. There's the Farseer's Blessing coming through as Queen Nightshade's Spores have ended. And Maka just trying to poke at this mid lane keep. It's tenuous. I think tenuous is the word.
Top forward, bottom forward did not fall.
They didn't! Oh my god!
It's just a D-push, right? And now you're waiting. Okay, you've got Blessed Shield. Let's go into Storm Comms, because we're getting to a moment where they've got to do something stupid to stay alive.
In we go.
No. I have Blessed Shield up soon.
Yeah. I have everything.
I don't have
Look at them.
Storm's running. Watch bump. Oh,
Yes. Murder should be here somewhere. Or he's bottom.
The bot wave is shit, so
Yeah, the bottom wave shit.
I'm backing.
We have to, I think we have to back. We can't really run at them.
Yeah, that's
Need the camps. 3 cut us.
yeah, we can insta our easies and then go.
Yeah,
I'm
we
gonna
gotta
push
look
the top
with
wave
best
out.
again.
Yep.
Yeah, we just do the same. Splash shield them. Kill them.
Can we walk up?
Can we look mid? Can we come mid?
Yeah, I'm moving. I'm moving.
I'm with you.
Yeah, look.
I'm here.
with you.
I'm here.
I got heavy.
Nice.
Maybe it's one.
I got the
We're
rewind. No rewind.
Nice.
If we were a little bit faster, guys.
Yeah, that was
He's
really
dead.
close.
I don't know why we're so slow when I'm saying, like... You gotta be right behind me.
I have respawn.
I have no blessed shield now, but...
Genji is like pushing down the bot wave or some shit.
The Odin?
The Odin, we should back. I don't think we win this. He can die, Master can die. He has respawn.
Okay, that one ult then.
Yeah. We have to clear
this
anyways. This one we can take, right?
Oh, okay.
Mura?
Yeah, good damage.
He used like everything.
Wanna go in?
I was just pulling us out actually as all of that little skirmishing was happening because I thought it was a clean disengage, but you can feel the tension in the comms, honestly. It's not like Lobber's being mean to them saying like, you should be behind me, but you can feel that kind of like, you know, we can't make mistakes. Like we have to be playing so well at this point in the game with so much shoved into them. At least that's the feeling I get from the comms we just heard from Storm.
And of course, Lunara literally can't be faster. From the moment he said it, I think they did come, so it's more like
Just a little execution, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. The frustration is palpable and definitely understandable. And,
Oh, yeah.
Now, with this next seed coming up, with Siege Camp, with Genji pushing mid 3 catapults, bot 1 catapult, and a Siege Camp top, which is going to be 3 catapults as well. No, 4 if you count Siege Camp as a catapult, which you should. That's a total of 9 catapults being on the core within the next 45 seconds. Wow. And Storm has to get this seed in less than 45 seconds? It's nearly impossible, Bahamut.
That's Caesar Salad getting poked at right now. Lobber's going to be hearthing back using Bless Shield a little bit ago. The catapults right now that are approaching core deal 540 standard damage. Double that into structures. 1,080. Caesar Salad getting poked at here. Joanna trying to defend, but the core is falling rapidly. There's a fight happening on the left-hand side, but Genji, he's trying to take things down with the assistance of the catapults. Lobber can't defend. Got Filth will be the one to end Garden of Terror. 26 minutes and 40 seconds later, we sit 1-1 in our series. Diamond Hands taking map number 2, Garden of Terror, and I have to say, whoever won that map, it was well deserved. Like if Storm Esports came back, that would have been the most beautiful rally I've seen in a game. But I gotta say, Diamond Hands, they played very, very effectively in the macro and the micro. It was just this constant, like, they didn't have to run at Storm Esports' face. They could just say, okay, we brawl, we skirmish, we let the waves push up, Genji, go do your thing, and we just keep doing that over and over and over again, and that's going to make some unforced errors happen. I think we saw that right at the end, but of course, Justing, you've got so much to break down for us. Let's hear it, bud.
What a back and forth game that was. That was hard to sort of watch in the shoes of Storm, knowing that that game gave me like anxiety, feeling the waves pushing in top and bottom for Storm, because they had to fight under these just unfavorable circumstances every single time. There was never a moment where Storm really got a favorable fight, and it was sort of this weird game of cat and mouse after the early structures fall down for the side of Storm, where they want to fight. Their comp needs 5 members to be able to actually win a fight. They can't really get picks with less than that. But if they ever leave their base, you have Gotfilth on Genji in particular, who I would say is my MVP overall, not necessarily even for his Genji teamfight play, although he did have the double reset with the X-Strike in that one teamfight, but just because of his macro play, just being so smart about where he is. This was the moment as well where we came into comms, and Swamp Grotto, like I mentioned in the draft, Malthael not picked quite as often because he's a detriment in the lanes. He's easy to pick. Once they get these 2 kills, they get the objective, they get the plants out, they end up getting this bot fort for Diamond Hands, they end up getting the bot keep. That was kind of the beginning of the end here for Storm, because Storm's composition in the early game was getting picked because they have that Malthael as well. They don't have a secondary frontliner, where Diamond Hands can one-shot basically anyone on the front line. If they can chain all their CC on one target, they have the Polymorph, they have the Blaze stun, they have Tychus damage, and they have a Muradin stun, which got them picks in the early game because Storm's comp only has a Johanna. They either need to all step up at the exact same time and just accept that they're going to sacrifice one target, or they lose the fight, basically. So they got picked too many times early, lost too many structures early, and then Storm was just trying to get these fights, whereas Diamond Hands, they did a good job of not taking any fight that wasn't favorable for them. They only took fights when they had the favorable macro position. Storm was winning fights and being aggressive, and it looked like they were sort of the stronger team in the late game, but they always had to deal with their base, and I think it looked that way because Diamond Hands was aware of the fact that they don't want to give them a straight 5v5. They don't want to take a fair fight because they never have to. Even here, it looks like this could be a game-winning team fight, but you see Gotfilth just going into the base doing the split-pushing Genji things. His team might all die here, his team might wipe, but he's confident that he's doing the right thing. He's creating pressure here, which created a lot of these just lose-lose situations for Storm. So Diamond Hands being able to take a macro advantage and really push it to its fullest, that last moment was basically a checkmate, which we saw there, where Genji alone created enough pressure in the base with all the catapults to be able to just make it an unwinnable fight. You have enough people from Diamond Hands understanding that all they need to do is stall this, and they even have the safety of their own fort. And with 3 waves of catapults in all the lanes, there's just no winning the game at this point. Storm, desperate for fights, Diamond Hands not giving it to them. Well played by Diamond Hands, being able to push a macro advantage and actually win a game through macro, which is something that we don't see too much as of late.
It was a beautiful symphony from the side of Diamond Hands, to be honest. I really think that they actually knew exactly every win condition they needed. I mean, losing a singular fort in less than 27 minutes, that is not easy to do. Like, I think most Storm League games, is at least keeps. You go down to at least keeps or something like that, but this felt like a very well-controlled game from Diamond Hands. But this is only map 2 in our best of 5 here. So we still have potentially 3 more maps between these teams. We're guaranteed at least 4 maps total, as we will be getting ready for another map here in just a little bit. But before we get into any more games, I do want to bring up something special, something great. It's the prize pool. I want to talk about the prize pool because of your support. We've hit $4,871.69. And if you'd like to donate towards the prize pool, you can use !prize pool in chat to get yourself over to the Matcherino. And as always, 60% does go to the players, first place taking 35% of said 60. So you can just push up that prize pool. It kind of lights a fire under some of these players just to see that go up. And thank you, as always, for all of your support. We're going to take a short little break here on HeroesCCL. When we come back, we're going to get into map number 3 between both these teams. Don't go anywhere. This is HeroesCCL, presented by Wisdom. Welcome back to HeroesCCL, presented by Wisdom. My name is Bahamut, still joined by Justin and Grubby, and we had a short little break right there, and I usually ask what you guys got up to, but what I really want to ask is, how are you guys feeling about this series? Grubby, how are you feeling about Diamond Hands versus Storm? Because I feel so far this is the most competitive matchup we've had in Season 4 of HeroesCCL.
Yeah, I think that was one of my favorite games. Like Justin said, echoed my inner thoughts exactly. One of the rare macro wins. Because you're spending all game building up macro advantage, and too many teams don't end up using it. So they take fights that they shouldn't be taking when you could let the map play itself. Now, that pretty much takes 10 plus minutes, like you saw here, where eventually catapults end up finishing the core. or the team that's slowly losing their core forces an engagement, which they lose, and then you see actual players going for the core and finishing it. But actually having catapults finish the core, I like that one a lot because it shows, not like a playstyle based around wants, but possibilities. Once is like, oh, I want to fight, or I think that's a boring way to finish. Some Storm League allies feel like that. It's like, no, let's go and fight. This one I love. Not all the time, but some of the time. So great job by Diamond Hands, limiting every fight to max 1 or 2 deaths, then pulling back and playing off the macro.
I think there's a lot of teams that, and even I think a lot of us do this in Storm League, like you do build up these macro advantages, Justing, and then you get one good team fight, you're like, just go core and end, like, and then sometimes you don't crush the opponent indefinitely and you end up throwing on the core. But Justing as well, what's your excitement? How you feeling about the series?
Yeah, it's at first I was expecting to just be really scrappy back and forth, just a lot of, kind of unga boonga fight. But this last game was not that at all. Diamond Hands really kind of changing the dynamic of what I expected the series to be going forward after the beginning of the first game. Being able to close it out really clean with just exclusively macro pressure, really smart. Even from HeroesHearth that I'd praised a lot for their macro yesterday, they had a moment on Garden where they had a lapse where their macro was perfect, and they had a moment on Garden where they took the fight when they didn't need to take the fight, when they could have gotten a macro advantage. And because it's that, it was the plant moment, it was the plant point, like curse point. And the fact that Diamond Hands was able to kind of stay calm and not get emotional and sucked into that, like, oh, we need to fight for this because it's the objective, we have to. Being able to have that restraint and not fight for it when they don't need to, definitely really good to see from Diamond Hands, keeping a cool head.
Well, let's go ahead and see where we're going to be going to for map number 3 in this first best of 5 of the day. And it's going to be the members of Diamond Hands choosing to take us to Towers of Doom as Storm Esports, the losing side, has opted in for first pick priority. Now, we can talk about Towers of Doom, but what I really want to talk about here, Grubby, is when will Wisdom Creative make an Unga Bunga Cecil emote? That's the big question that I need answered.
What is that?
Unga Bunga? Like, it's like you're just Unga Bunga. You're just going in all strength, all fighting. It's caveman.
Just, like,
yeah,
fire.
Unga Bunga.
Fire good.
Fire good. Me get grub.
Fight. Me team fight.
I agree. Fire is good.
Me fight.
Me run around game with giant dragon tooth. Beat game with dragon tooth. Like Unga Bunga.
Photo.
Me jump in. Me stun.
See, exactly. See, Justin knows what's up. Well, we're men of culture here, Grubby, and we'll bring you up to the cultural speed that is Unga Bunga. But we are getting ready for Towers of Doom, one of my favorite maps competitively in any league. And production just whispered in my ear, we just got a massive donation. We're at $39.69. You're blowing me away, chat. We are very, very close. We're less than $500 away from hitting that 6,000 mark. And as I said, as I promised, if we do hit 6K today, I will go ahead and I can't grab the box because then Bandit's going to get all excited. But I have the box of treats right here, and I'll get him on camera, and I'll be able to give him a treat. And, well, that's all. We're just, if we can push that $6,000 mark today, it'd be much appreciated. But of course, thank you to the person or persons who did donate and push this prize pool up even further. We really do appreciate all the support. And right as we're getting into draft, if you want to check out the prize pool, I'm sure the live coordinators are already hitting it in chat, ! prize pool in chat. But Justin, Grubby, my friends, let's talk about Towers of Doom because we are loaded on into map number 3 in this best of 5 series. What do you think about this, Justin? What are you thinking? Cho'Gall all the way, Abathur Samuro, Murky Nova?
This is a good Cho'Gall map. You can upheaval them all into the shots if you want, if the enemy team thinks that they're winning because you pick Cho'Gall, and then you flip it on them. But this is the absolute macro map where there's so much weird stuff that you can do with the macro. I'm excited to see Diamond Hands in particular. After Gotfilth, the way that he played on Genji being less of a team fight threat and more of just a safe split pushing thing that they couldn't deal with on the side of Storm Esports. I really liked that a lot, so I'm kind of excited to see just the general plan for Diamond Hands in this game on towers, being, having such a good macro performance in the last game, which is something that I wouldn't have really expected from them, and it was nice to see. It'll be cool to see what they do here on towers.
What are you thinking here, Grubby? About the map, the matchup, anything in between?
So far, Diamond Hands has followed a patterned ban where they continue to ban out Sylvanas of Mocha and the Medivh of CPX. now it gets to this interesting situation where if they do that, and Storm doesn't ban Junkrat now, which they did once in this position as first pick, then Storm would have to play Junkrat. This is a weakness going forward in the league. Once again, banning it, not wanting to use it, gives Diamond Hands the chance to ban Sylvanas without remorse once again. Interesting.
I feel like we're seeing some very similar bans throughout today, but what is the hot priority for Storm Esports, who did opt in for first pick priority? It's a Lucio.
Was wondering if it's going to be Lucio, because so far June's been Rhaegar twice. I feel like even in the game that they just lost, Rhaegar was useful. Ancestral timings were generally very good. And they've shown that they don't want Heavy to get Lucio. So now it's going to be Lucio for Storm. But Heavy's got Stukov pretty damn good too. No cleanse. So you could think that Diamond Hands maybe wants to pick up a Lunara later in the draft to help with the cleanse. Storm can now choose to either ban that or pick it. They don't have long to think about it.
Could you, Justin, main tank with an Uther maybe with the Stukov to pick up that cleanse, and you also have the bunker value as well, or is that am I a little too far out in the weeds in my theory here?
You definitely could. If you wanted to win the game with maybe like 36-0 in shots, then yeah, picking up an Uther would probably be a pretty good choice here for Diamond Hands. I think that's just like the most broken thing in the game still. I'm kind of surprised that we don't see that more. Uther, Stukov, Blaze is kind of ridiculous. Blaze also has the armor at level 20 with the bunker, as Uther has the 50 armor at level 20 as well. So I'd like to see that. I don't know if we'll see that. They do have the Tychus on the other side that'll at least have the % damage if they do go that route. But I think it's mostly just Stukov going, or Heavy going to Comfort in the Stukov, known for his, low blow play. It's weird to see here once again though, the Dahaka banned out over the Hogger. Typically with pretty much every team we've seen Hogger and Blaze being those top 2 offlane picks. Pretty much unanimously by all the teams, those are the priorities. We saw them traded back and forth pretty much every game yesterday. And to see now the Dahaka banned away against Swamp Grotto, it's just a lot of respect for that. Something else that I wouldn't be completely surprised to see with the Sergeant Hammer bans we saw targeted towards Nick yesterday. We did see Storm Esports ban Junkrat and Chromie. The Chromie ban is a little bit strange. I don't expect to see it, but typically when you would see Chromie banned, that would be because of a Sergeant Hammer. So if Storm plays it, this would be where we would see it.
All right, well, we've got a lot unfolding here, and I don't think my Uther call is going to be correct in any way, shape, or form. But Grubby, any thoughts here as we're going to get 2 more picks, the last 2 picks from the side of Storm? Ooh.
I hate Hammer into Stukov more than Junkrat and Chromie even. But yeah, it was a possibility. It's going to be this time Leoric, Maiev. Now we have 3 melee with Tychus. Storm lost last weekend, but the one game that they won, they used a Maiev. He used here as well. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they absolutely did. I'm trying to remember, yeah. Yes. Okay, well, you got Falstad for the global to be able to maneuver around the map quite a bit here. I really like the Diamond Hands draft, actually. I think they've got everything they want and then more. You're already agreeing with me, but I want to get Justin's thoughts as we're about to load on into Towers of Doom.
Diamond Hands draft is really good in team fights if they're able to stay spread out. If they do clump at all, CPX was the strongest version of the Maiev that we've seen so far, in my opinion. Because we did see a lot of Maiev priority in week 1, and CPX's was the only one that really looked good. All the other ones kind of seemed like, why are we picking this? So I'm hoping to see CPX kind of pop off on the Maiev. The main issue I'm seeing from Diamond Hands is just that their composition only really has Taunt for single target, CC lockdown for Peel when they're going to be getting dove on by multiple members at the same time. You have Blaze Stun, but that's a little bit unreliable, and you have Gust. So at level 20, if Gotfilth is able to hit huge gusts, I think that should be able to win them the game against all of the melees. But if they're ever clumped up for even a moment, I expect CPX and the rest of the team to just dive in and kind of just run down Diamond Hands.
Well, thank you, Justin, for the analysis and the thoughts here as we're going to get your breakdown after Towers of Doom. We're loaded on in. We got Diamond Hands in the blue. We've got Filth on the Falstad, Unaverted on the Lunara, Heavy Hooten on the Stukov, Ninturi on the Blaze, and Caesar Salad on the Varian. The side of Storm Esports, we got June on the Lucio, Mach on the Tychus, CPX on the Maiev, Swamgrad on the Leoric, and Lauber to play the Muradin. There's some decent comforts here for the side of Storm, and there's some really, really good pickups. And I guess you could say comforts as well for the side of Diamond Hands, but I mean, I think you and I talked about this, and we both kind of agreed here, Grubby, that this is looking like we're favoring Diamond Hands. But do you have any thoughts about just what these teams could potentially do on Towers of Doom, or just any thoughts on the drafts as well.
Let's see. So you've got variants. Took off synergy is very good from level 4 onwards. You taunt someone, you silence them with low blow. Let's hold that thought here. There's a collective play here. There's 4 members coming top. Nintori would not be able to get away. Oh, nice. He even interrupted the jet propulsion. You can stop Blaze just by absorbing his jet propulsion, by standing on his home route so that he can't fly away. But in this case, even interrupted. Yeah, Lucio is a super top pick on this map. And then, yeah, I think the strongest part about this is Lucio, but it's also kind of a weakness, because here's the thing. If someone is taunted in the center of a lurking arm by Stukov, Lucio cannot high-five and save that target.
Right.
Because he will get silenced before he hits. And so I do think that besides this cool little flashy kill and the kind of momentum that Storm likes to use these kind of compositions with, and they're good at it, and they're definitely going to win out until level 4. But I think in the late game and in general, Diamond Hands has the better comp, and I should see them as the favorite here.
Yeah, Varian's not a real boy until he hits level 4. Until then, he's just a melee minion, realistically, just kind of slapping people with his sword. As Falstad's sitting in the bush in top lane, maybe poking at the Leoric, as actually he's just going to be clearing the wave. Might have gone for a stack or 2 on the hammering, as Swampgrata does get the slow. June with the sound wave to push back Gotfilth, but he's going to be fine walking into the gate. I think these 3 sappers just get in. I don't think there's a world where Gotfilth can... Oh, wait, no. Unless Nintori rotates up. Oh, nope, still 2 sappers get in through the wall. That doesn't matter, though. Top lane is really not the biggest priority. Yes, you can convert it, but bottom lane is often where we see the biggest contest. Lauber is going to be targeted by Caesar Salad. No taunt to be utilized, as that was the level 4 pickup.
And I love Varian as a tank into Tankus as well, because you can deal with Minigun way better with that parry. Wow, Lauber, very aggressive, goes in. There's the yoink, the double yoink, the pushback and the yoink. Caesar Salad is getting manhandled here by the very fast moving team of Storm. Nice Storm Bolt takes him down as well. Okay, maybe there's going to be like heavy impact at level 7. Which should be better than Skullcracker against a variant that can have block charges, permanent block charges during parry. There's really good chase mechanics here by Storm.
I'm just looking really quickly around the map to see. So CPX gets the channel over here uninterrupted. June on the top right getting the channel over there. Swampgrata is looking to invade on this left-hand side, which is... Typically, it doesn't happen unless you get some sort of massive experience advantage or you're just dominating the enemy or you get a couple kills. But we will see 8 shots into the core of Diamond Hands, 4 shots into the core of Storm Esports. That's your first objective phase. Always top left and right. And then the third one is either middle or bottom. The next objective phase we're going to see, because it starts to randomize where it is on the map and how many. We'll see what we get next, as the announcement is probably about 20 or so seconds away. Or excuse me, the visual announcement on the minimap. 7 talent here just around the corner for the side of Diamond Hands. And Grubby, this is momentum early to Storm Esports, but will that shift quickly at 10? Like, I'm wondering if there's a point where things start to shift as a fight breaks out through mid.
So it depends who engages, right? Like, if Arian finds someone and they get the taunt off, then the silence, that's a kill. But so far, it hasn't been able to go that way, because Storm keeps being the one to find an opportunity, jump on them, and start the fight. And from there on, it's all crisis management for Diamond Hands. That's certainly an interesting dynamic, because you could think that it would go the other way with Caesar Salad leading the charge. But in this case, Storm seems to be a little bit more well coordinated and motivated to go in as a group. You know, Lauber, he will brook no disagreement when it comes to getting follow-up.
And I think this might have been a conversation that the members of Storm Esports had in our little break, just saying, okay, you know, we need to be like more on point with our shot calling, maybe, because it feels like going from last game to this game, Storm Esports are a lot more vengeful, a lot more, what's the word? They're executing without impunity. It feels like they are really trying to put some pressure onto Diamond Hands when the pressure is available, rather than kind of wishy-washy like, oh, Stormbolt, maybe we go in. It's like, no, we are going in, we're making rotations, we're finding kills, and that is giving a little bit of an experience bolster to the side of Storm Esports as a single altar spawns in the middle of the map. Sapper camp to the bottom lane. There's a taunt onto Lauber, but the disengage will happen for now. Swampgrata dying in the top of our screen.
Yeah, so there's no follow-up for Caesar Salad because his 3-man was busy taking down a Leoric, which is totally fine. Against Diamond Hands, channel here, equalizing the core points and taking the experience lead also. At this moment onwards, we're starting to feel like it's not as easy anymore for Storm to go get a kill. They were essentially in a 4 versus 2, but could do nothing to Varian in that moment.
Healing Pathogen onto Caesar Salad. Umbra Bind as well onto Caesar Salad. Lurking Arm from the Stukov to try and zone back the enemy as June. Wall rides with Unaverted applying consistent pressure and damage over time. Blaze getting a top lane camp. 10 talent here to the side of Diamond Hands. Falstad barrel rolling into mid lane trying to chase onto someone but can't find the kill they're looking for as the members of Storm Esports also hit their 10 talent here. Containment Disc is the biggest thing to probably talk about here. Massive Shove was one of the pickups, but Containment Disc is such a great tool. 40-second cooldown, and it also silences the enemy hero 1.5 seconds after that ends, and Leoric will be forced to Wraith Walk out of top lane.
Leoric is kind of the secret sauce here because he's got the reach to try and get to anyone else that isn't Varian. He also brings in a bit of extra damage on Varian that isn't auto-attack based via the Drain. Nonetheless, it feels like the fortunes are turning. Diamond Hands is becoming more and more unkillable, with Lunara having Leaping Strike to get out of Entomb, Gust being available, Bunker being available, Massive Shove. There are so many tools for disengage. Varian is going to be presented as the only attractive target for Diamond Hands, which also means that Maiev won't be getting any resets on the fan.
There's a great Gust from Got Filth, but he's got no mana. Bunker down from Blaze. Containment Disc out from Maiev. Lobber throws the Stormbolt connecting onto Heavy. Leaping Strike from Unaverted gets them into a better position, and he's going to be able to back away. Double Objective Phase is up and available. Mount-ups come out. There's the taunt from Varian onto Lobber. Lurking Arm, and that's what you were talking about earlier. That Lurking Arm with a low blow, shutting things down. CPX with 100 and something HP. Massive Shove doesn't connect, but the auto attack, from Falstad does land the kill.
It looked like a grenade.
It literally, I was like, wait a minute. There's no Titus grenade from Lunara, but that is a fantastic turnaround moment to the side of Diamond Hands. Not only do they jump ahead by about a level in experience and are approaching 13 talents here, but they're gonna get the Sapper Camp and the double objective, taking the enemy core down to 28 HP. And Grubby, can you break down for us, because we got a replay, can you break down how this went so well?
Yeah, we're gonna get a replay of that grenade. Maybe Tychus threw one that didn't detonate and they threw it right back at him. But there's that big low blow damage. Then they're trying to get him with the Massive Shove, and there's that hammer. It really looked a bit like a grenade. Less so, I guess, now. Funny how the ice play tricks on us when we're watching rapid action. Now we know what we're looking for. But yeah, that was a really solid example of how Varian was the only attackable target. Now the hidden sauce for Storm outside of Leoric is the Warden's Containment Disc.
Yeah.
If they can get that on Varian and then move in on the rest, that might just be an opportunity to ignore this problem, because Varian was a fantastic pick in this situation, and it's getting harder and harder here for Storm Esports. Nonetheless, 4 points, pretty equal. It's all to play for. We've seen crazier comebacks on Towers of Doom, though I think Diamond Hands is in the driving seat right now.
Do love the level 10 for Caesar Salad with the Warbringer. It gives Varian, I believe it's a 4-second cooldown onto your charge. Yeah, taking it from 12 seconds to 4 seconds on your charge. There's a lot of great value with that. You can also utilize the charge to jump to allies as well. Mortal Wound at level 13 is just a great way to reduce incoming healing by 40% for 4 seconds. Both teams doing a fantastic job. But the big thing to also talk about is we have got that Bronzebeard Rage for the Muradin and Heavy Casters for June. Push off no longer slows, instead it stuns for 1.5 seconds. As Maka's going for the aggressive channel right here, there's going to be a Containment Disc onto Blaze. Heavy, Lurking Arm off to the side. Caesar Salad getting really low. There's the Gust from Falstad. Leoric with the Wraith Walk does have the Ominous Race from level 13, reducing the damage. As I hear an Entomb coming out, more of a zoning tool than anything else.
Yeah. That would have been a cool Entomb, I guess, to buy some time. Interesting Dwarf Toss interaction there, jumping over to Jet Propulsion. But did you see that? Caesar Salad was by himself 4 seconds in the middle of 5 enemies with full capabilities. And he did easily survive.
Just chilling. Doing absolutely fine as the Stormbolt goes in just as the taunt comes through. There's a Lurking Arm, that low blow chunking through Lobbers. We have another charge from Caesar Salad. The Containment Disc not connecting from CPX. It's a low cooldown, low mana cost as well. And Lunara poking out right now. I'm waiting for us to get one of those single altars that are a lot more contestable so we can jump into some of these comms. Caesar Salad getting a very interesting charge. Gets the taunt onto Lobber. Cleanse comes through. High five, actually.
as long as Heavy's position is good, then he will not become the target of Maiev. Now he's got those E resets as well. Note how Diamond Hands is playing it very safe again. Doing random gusts like that. Actually, jinxed. Jinxed. But that gust felt like really just a desire never to overcommit to fights that start to look messy.
So with that kill, it does offer up some experience to Storm Esports. It also does offer up the opportunity to steal away the Sapper Camp. Lubber comes in with the Dwarf Toss. He does have those block charges from level 1. Taunt from Varian onto June. There's a number bind from CPX onto Unaverted, who tries to self-cleanse, but it ain't working out this time, and that's a hemorrhage. That's a kill, a staggered death, actually. Commandeer Odin to try and take down the bottom lane fort. Maiev gonna grab the wave, and that experience gap that was available to Diamond Hands is quickly diminishing.
Yeah, those two kind of unnecessary deaths by Falstad and Lunara actually present a huge problem to the momentum of Diamond Hands, and Storm Esports did a good job securing those 2 little kills, really just punishing mistakes. That's going to give them most likely bottom 4, and I say that, but turns out they're not going to commit. They just want to make sure that they get their level 16s before things go wrong. The Sappers will either get the fort or present a distraction that maybe could see Storm get 2 out of the 3 altars.
Falstad has flight available. Looks like Falstad just goes for the clear into the top, yeah, so he's just going to clear top lane. Leorc trading out, 20 to 20 in core HP. Bottom lane objective is available. Both teams have the level 16. Falstad looks like he's getting into position to fly. I'm just looking to check. Yeah, he's actually going to utilize it right here. Here comes Falstad right next to Leoric. Entomb is available in 4 seconds. That's Containment Disc onto Heavy. Umbral Bind will connect onto Nintori as there's a banner down from Varian to give some spell power, which will affect the healing output of Heavy as well. Another Entomb not connecting. A single altar in the bottom of the map still available, and we're 20 to 20 in core HP. A great back and forth as Lunara is actually, it's a gust from Got Filth to delay that out. I don't know if it was necessary, but the fight continues.
Yeah, Entomb missed. He felt sympathetic. Decided to miss out on 2. Normally, Gust is there to stop Entomb value, and since there was none, he threw it away in a very cavalier fashion. CPX goes in, gets taunted, has to jump. That's a big jet propulsion, but it's Falstad that will fall. Maka actually got a really nice shot on Falstad there with his minigun. Now it's Odin time. With Odin, there's more penetration on the backline. He can kind of ignore Varian, going for Heavy, going for Unaverted, trying to get some auto attacks on the backline. Unaverted dropping really low as Lobber jumps away from the precipice of death.
And this fight continues. We're 1-to-1 in trade. That's an Entomb from Leoric, but call an ambulance, and it's not for the side of Diamond Hands. It's for Leoric. He's gonna fall. That's another kill to the side of Diamond Hands, and it looks like this might be an objective to their favor. Lobber actually tapping well. Seems like they want to try and delay out. Leoric can cheat death. And we have Maiev up in 6 seconds. Falstad has flight off of cooldown when he respawns, but that doesn't matter because the channel goes over to the side of Diamond Hands. And I feel like, I might be wrong in this, Grubby, but I feel like this is the first time in this game where Diamond Hands is ahead in core HP. And I don't mean that as a bad thing, just as a note, like they've been fighting back and forth. It's been so equal.
In this map, yes, that's true.
Yes, sorry, yeah, in this map, sorry.
Did you say map or series?
Map. I think. I might have misspoke. Sometimes,
I think you did, yeah.
Sometimes my brain does that dyslexic thing where it just chooses different words.
Level dyslexia.
Well, you know,
just levels, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But 4 HP forward, and XP as well. And I think XP matters more. Oh, whoa! Nice kill there on Lunara. How did they get her? He's got Leaping Strike, but there were no targets behind him. Now they're trying to go for Caesar Salad. There's wow. While he was trying to get in the bunker, he pressed the button. CPX. Now Varian is in the bunker, but the fort is going to fall. This could be a big wipe. Against all odds, I really didn't think that this composition of Storm can do it, but the members of Storm can. And they definitely are getting it done. Caesar Salad is one Stormbolt away from death. Oh, the Drain!
Now, Falstad finds a consolation through top lane. He does get the fort down over there, but that was huge. Now, with 3 dead for the timing, no, okay, they're going to go for Sappers. I was wondering, I was like, is there any sort of consideration, maybe rush boss with the Stukov dead for 30, Leoric dead for, not Leoric, sorry. The Varian dead for 30 or so, but it seems like it's just going to be macro. While we're seeing some macro plays right now, let's go ahead and take a look at what just happened. Because I want to see how that Lunara died as well. Yeah.
Look, first it's a front-to-back fight. There's a taunt on Muradin, then he jumps in actually really far and gets the bolt on Lunara. And the cool thing is she had no way to escape.
Mm-hmm.
So Varian was trying to protect But I think Lunara followed up a little bit too much and didn't respect the big lobber jump. And I really love how quickly lobber changed direction and found a much more attractive target than Varian. Went for him, got the Stormbolt.
Oh, God,
his team was ready to finish up.
I don't know if
Meanwhile,
Godfield gets out of this one. Oh,
Meanwhile,
Stormbolt!
in the present.
Oh, he gets out. The great escape. I'm checking really quickly. I don't know if Stormbolt was off cooldown or not. It might have been just coming off a cooldown, and that's the reason he didn't land that into the face of Falstad. Where is our next objective? I'm skimming the minimap, and it's going to be top left and right. Man, we've not had the most opportune moments to really jump into comms here, and we will try and find one. I'll kind of leave it to you, Grubby, because I feel like you have good intuition on these moments.
Okay. Let's wait for things to really start heating up, and then maybe we can hear from Diamondance a bit, see how they're cracking on. It's 16 HP apiece. Super even game eventually. It has gotten to that point where anything is possible. Now let's talk about the level 20s. Wind Tunnel. Lunara can now also jump on allies, just like Varian, which would have saved her at the level 18 moment. We get push comes to shove. All ult upgrades so far. And then for Varian, of course, it's going to be Glory to the Alliance, which is just insane. Lots of healing.
Lobber Dwarf tossing out. That's a containment disc from CPX. The camp looks like it's going to be invaded. That's going to be an Umbra Bind. Falstad with the gust over the wall. Caesar Salad to walk onto the point. There's going to be an Entomb from Leorc. He's got the Buried Alive at level 20, but it's going to be Leorc who's buried alive underneath the low blow as the Falstad tries to get the barrel roll over the wall, but the Commandeer Odin has that big red button. Massive shove connecting onto Lobber. There's a taunt from Varian onto CPX who gets the Vault of the Wardens away, having that second charge hitting level 20. There's going to be a bunker down from Blaze. Caesar Salad trying to back away. Murden, Dwarf launches into the enemy side. Caesar Salad trying to back away. A double alter phase as Blaze is already rotating to try and get the channel on the top right of the map. And Varian may fall. The mount up from Murden comes through and Blaze respects. Doesn't go to the right hand side. Can he get the channel before Murden lands there? No.
And you know why he couldn't? Doubt.
Yes.
He was on the middle of the road, not sure if he should cross or go back because the red turned right. The light turned red.
Yeah.
The red turned light.
See, your brain does it too, just like mine. Oh, ouchie.
Oh, wow. So, Storm was over chasing on the kill. They got it, but they gave Blaze free berth to go top and channel either one. What did Blaze do? He walked to the middle, veering to the right. And I saw it on the minimap. He then jet propulsioned. So he dismounted himself. He jet propulsion to the left to take his own and get stopped at 90% channel. Diamond Hands provided the perfect distraction via death and sacrifice for Blaze to sneak at least one away. Now he went to go ahead and lost that as well. Both altars and the boss going to Storm. That is a big point swing.
Next altar phase is going to be very important as to how many and where it is located on the map. Let's see, caster math. Typically we don't see 2 bell towers converted to a team like like Storm Esports, like where they would get 6 shots out from one object. Oh wait, hold on, I'm gonna hold that thought because there's the wind tunnel. There's going to be an Entomb from Leorc, so 2 heroics coming out. Leorc with the Wraith Walk, Ominous Wraith to reduce the damage of the enemies that are hit by that. Maka gets the conversion on the top lane bell tower. 4-4 when it comes to tower shots right now.
Yeah, if you just ignore top 4, then it could happen. If then Diamond Hands want to fight here, they get top and bot, and then the next altar will be a 6-pointer. But now with top recently having deceased again in favor of Storm Esports, yeah, there's almost no way that... Why is he... Is that like scouting?
I don't know why you would do that, honestly. I really don't.
Leaping Strike can target allies and are returned altogether every 15 seconds. Okay, so you're not waiting charge by charge anymore.
Right.
On a 20-second cooldown, which is a total of... Is that a total of 40 seconds, essentially, if you double Leaping Strike? Now it's a total of 15. So he has more than double CD regeneration from that 20. And so I guess you could use it for scouting. I guess I never thought about doing that, per se.
Do you want to jump into Diamond Hands come here?
Yep, let's go.
I think I need to be in the pit.
Look at Leo, look at Leo.
Yeah, I follow.
Good.
I
Just cleanse, care.
I got...
No, only
CPX.
It's fine.
Up, mid, lane.
Mid.
Yeah.
Nice.
No cleanse on him.
I still love her.
Mara.
Yeah, I talked to her.
Saw him.
Yeah, he does.
Chill, you can take him turn.
They got the cap.
I'm
It's
good.
fine. I can send the
I think
Odin.
we need to fight. Yeah, just keep fighting.
I have
CPX
straight
maybe?
into
Vex is one.
Damn.
Flag and 5.
We need to get the fort.
Yeah.
I think our win con from here is 6 up.
Yeah.
Can we win the rest of the map here?
I heard something interesting as we were leaving those comms.
Yep.
And it was very unfortunate they just completely missed Leoric getting that channel for the kill onto Lobber. But I hear the words, I think 6 cap is our win con, meaning win condition. I don't see a world where Diamond Hand gets a 6 cap, to be honest, and holds it. Like, look, I said it yesterday. I'm a blind optimist, but like, oof, that's a hard win condition to even achieve. But you know what? It's Towers of Doom. The game's not over till the Raven Lord or the Gravekeeper falls.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when they said it's fine that they lost the cap, I mean, it's better than saying that sucks. And now it's also better to say what your win con is. That's how you want to focus. But yeah, you're not going to get that easily at all. I mean, 16. Oh my God, 16 shots. You know how long you even need to capture the 6 cap in order to get 16?
16.2 seconds. No, I have no idea. I have no idea. I know for a fact that there is a point, and because I've seen it on my own stream.
You said it accelerates.
There is a point where it accelerates, and actually, someone did the math. Actually, they were watching back the VOD, and they did the math of like after X amount of shots, it speeds up in the missile speed from one core to the other. At first, it fires one, and then connects, and then fires another. There's a point where it starts firing shots almost half to 3/4 of the travel distance of the missile. But let's talk about the fight right here.
It would need like 100 seconds or so to win.
Yeah, they need a long time.
They
need a long time. I mean, they need a 6 cap plus like an altar or 2 in their favor on top of that. Like they need the holy grail of channeling right now. And right now, Unaverted trying to back away. That's a rewind. Ouch! Unaverted. Wind tunnel into the corner. That realistically still kind of helped. Managed to get the kill onto Lunara. There's an Entomb, buried alive, big red button, a lot of damage onto Nintori, who drops the bunker. He's surrounded, Varian gets inside the bunker, might have made a mistake, gets the charge onto June, who's trying to back away, has that mortal wound applied. Falstad will fall, Caesar Salad being slowed, being dropped to 0. June, with the channel, ladies and gentlemen, Storm Esports will take down Diamond Hands on map 3.
Dude, Murden got some sick engages on Linara and Falstad, man. Like, they realize he's gonna be there, and he just got the Stormbolt past the bush, exactly where she was. They must have got a read on where she was. I really like the way that Lobber played this. Great engages and good follow-up of the team as well.
The one thing that I'm starting to take away from today's games is I should never doubt Lobber's Murden. And of course, Justin, we got you back in the mix right now. What are you thinking about all this? Am I right? Am I wrong? Everything in between?
You're always right, Baha. But
oh, stop!
So this game was unbelievably close. I think this was the closest game on towers that we've maybe ever seen in the CCL. Their teams were on the exact same amount of shots nearly the whole game up until that one crucial moment in the bottom lane where Lauber jumps forward and he hits the Stormbolt, and then they just run them down after that. That was kind of the moment where Storm started to pull ahead, but for perspective, it was 32 to 36 in shots, and then 32 to 32 in shots, 28 to 28, 24 to 24, 20 to 20, 20 to 16, where you had a moment where Diamond Hands pulled ahead. That was what you're talking about, where you said, this is the first time that Diamond Hands has been ahead the whole game. 16 to 16, so back to even, but that 16 to 16 was when they got the 3 picks bottom and dove them and took their fort, and after that, it was just Storm kind of just decimating them in the team fights. I think a lot of the issue for Diamond Hands was kind of the reality of the scaling of Storm Esports composition as it gets a little bit later into the game. I had mentioned that their only real peel tool is the Gust, and their only real engage is the Taunt, which is a single target ability, but you have things like the Maiev and the Leoric and the Murden all running at you from different angles that can all kind of dive in at different spots and go into different targets. And you also have June, who can speed everybody up, and with the shove from Stukov not going for the flailing swipes, there's really no way besides Gust to reset a team fight. Here we have the 1-for-1 trade between the Falstad and the Leoric. You see the Gust over the wall doesn't really land, and then at the same time Swamp Garada kind of misses the Entomb, and they both end up paying for it and going down, both teams desperate to get an engage, and it's kind of funny to see both of them, the ones trying to get the engage, being the ones that go down. But all they have is Caesar Salad with Taunt, to really set up kills, and there's not that many kill targets, and they also have the high 5 on Lucio. So as the game progressed, it just felt like Diamond Hand's composition really struggled to get kills, because Varian can't taunt Muradin and one-shot him. They don't have enough damage for that. They have a Falstad and they have a Lunara. Those two combined don't even come close to one-shotting Muradin, and that's assuming that the Lucio is unable to high 5 to save them. So just as the game progressed, the teamfights got progressively harder for Diamond Hands. They got a lot of good picks in the early game, but Lauber in the late game was just setting up all of the teamfight engages, being super aggressive with those jumps. And something that also helped Storm quite a bit is Swamp Garada. He had the spooky hand build at 13 and 16 with the damage reduction. Once he started having that, Diamond Hands has almost no % damage at all. So it's they don't have good options for it. The damage is basically just halved. Once Swamp Grotto hits 16, he had really good uptime on that. He was pretty much permanently reducing their damage by 50%. And if you already can't really kill Muradin in 100 to 0 within a taunt, and that's sort of your win condition in the late game, when your damage is halved by the Leoric, it's nearly impossible. So I think we just kind of saw Storm Esports coming into their comp by the end there, and that one fight in bottom really just sort of was the beginning of the end for Diamond Hands. But neck and neck for both the teams all the way up until that point. Really cool to see two teams that are so evenly matched.
I think that's kind of the motif of this entire series. This is a very, very evenly matched matchup, I guess you could say, between both these sides. I want to actually jump and find out where we're going to for map number 4 in this best of 5 series. This could be the final map between these teams, as Storm Esports are going to be taking us to Alterac past Diamond Hands, the losing side opting for first pick priority. And I agree, Swamp Grotto did so well with the Ominous Wraith at level 13 to get not Spectral Leech, to get the Ghost Walk. I'm blanking on the name right now. Someone please save me. But
Ominous Wraith, the damage reduction?
Yeah, the
Wraithwalk.
Wraithwalk, thank you.
That's the one I know for some reason.
It's right there. But I mean, to have the Ominous Wraith and the Royal Focus, because the Royal Focus, if you hit enemies with the Skeletal Swing, gives you cooldown reduction on your Wraithwalk. So being able to just Wraithwalk through the enemy team, 50% reduction as you were saying, and then get this big, huge, Q onto the enemy side, and then just keep going through them with that, I absolutely agree. I think Swamp Grotto did such a great job. Also, that sneak of the bottom lane altar during that skirmish, where everyone was focused on Delauber, and then just Swamp Grotto's like, I'm gonna go get the channel over here and take your core down to 2 HP. So really, really cool plays, but we're already ready to go for Alterac Pass. We can jump into the draft here. I am so excited about this map. It is I believe the second Alterac Pass map of the weekend, but also I think of the entire season. Actually, fun fact, Grubby, last night, the Dragonshire map I think we ended on last night. Let me double check. Yeah, the Dragonshire map was that we ended on was the first Dragonshire of the entire season of HeroesCCL as well. But we're getting to Alterac.
Yes.
Any thoughts?
I remember being surprised that people generally avoid Dragonshire a little bit more. And pros find it hard to control the outcome of the game on Dragonshire. Perhaps that's usually the maps that are being avoided. Either the games go long and they're looking to get it over with, win or loss or something, or they find it hard to control the outcome of the game. And I find that interesting, because if everybody else hates it, then you should love it. Become a master at the things in life that other people hate to do, and you'll be the best at them.
This is why I advocate for Blackheart's Bay to be in the rank pool, because obviously it's I'm sorry, I can't.
You're a master at it, right?
Yeah,
a big coin collector.
Yeah.
Your money jiggle, right?
You gotta get money bags. If you don't get the money bags award when you play Blackheart's Bay, you're not playing the map right. That is fact. And that's it. But anyways, Justin,
Dude,
of course.
I think of Blackhearts, and I just remember people standing at the pay station like forever. Like their lanes are getting pushed, and they're just like, "We gotta be here because the enemy has 30 coins in their pockets." Yep. And you just got like people standing there and pinging you to also go and stand there, even though you're losing everything else on the map. Oh god, what an abomination!
What is soaking? Who needs to soak when you can focus on the objective and just tunnel onto it and just fall behind? But of course, Justin, thoughts on the draft evolving, because we don't have a Medivh ban. No Medivh ban just yet.
No Medivh ban. The Lucio ban is right here. So no Lucio, no Junkrat, the kind of main things that we'd expect. I'm not anticipating Diamond Hands to pick the Medivh in the first pick unless they're very afraid of it going over to Storm. They do have Gottfilth, who has played it before, so it is possible, but with the Hogger being banned out, seeing the priority onto Blaze makes a lot of sense. Hogger and Blaze, kind of the two supreme offlaners in general. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Swamp Grotto go with the Dahaka that has been target banned against him, that has been prioritized so heavily. Oh, he doesn't take it, so that means that he's happy to get a Leoric, most likely, later on. We did see him play the Malthael too, but That might be a little bit more difficult on this map where you're a lot more exposed in a lot more situations. And the Tychus, very early priority here. We haven't seen too much Tychus priority as we have previously. We saw a lot more Lunara lately. And the Murden priority in the 1-2. I think this is the highest priority of Murden that we've seen yet. I don't hate this at all. I think it's totally fine. I talked about this a while ago about my advocation for Murden being priority in the draft. There's really no hard counters to him, and Lauber Murden, like you said, should never be doubted. And the Chromie being picked up, a little bit strange. I like the Johanna parity as well, because I do feel like Murden and Johanna are kind of the supreme main tanks right now.
I feel like there's a potential for some support targeting or some healer targeting in this next ban phase, especially maybe from the side of Diamond Hands, someone with a cleanse, because if Chromie can get Temporal Loop, that's going to be such a great tool. But there's that Brightwing. Grubby, any thoughts on the draft unfolding in front of us?
Lucio and Brightwing banned. Stukov has not been banned. Stukov was pretty good for heavy last game for Diamond Hands, but nonetheless, it did not actually end up saving them. Taika so far has a 100% win rate this series. Was always on the winning side so far.
June targeted, nice.
June's Rhaegar gets targeted away, so three healers gone. Does June now take Stukov to take it away from heavy?
I feel like they need the cleanse though, don't they, Justin?
I think Enderman probably makes the most sense. Because, yeah, the cleanse is really nice, especially with all the Johannans transitioning into the Blessed Shield after the recent nerfs to Falling Sword. And also Chromie having the potential to go Time Loop, you basically need a cleanse. So, yeah, if you don't pick if you pick Stukov, the Chromie has the option to just go a Temporal Loop and one-shot your team on cooldown.
And this is super smart too with the Urel for Hand of Freedom, because Hand of Freedom can be applied to allies as well. So if there is maybe a slowing sands, you can at least cleanse out that slowing sands. It also gives a movement buff. I also think the Rhaegar ban was really heads up from Diamond Hands just to get rid of the baseline purge. It's a 60-second cooldown, but still, like, that's great to be matched. Oh god, I don't know who to vote for here. Justin, please, Justin.
I'm excited to see the hammer coming out. I think that it shouldn't be a target ban thing. I think pretty much every single time there is a hero that is target banned, like Medivh typically is, or like we saw with the Sergeant Hammer, they're pretty much always strong heroes. It's just that people haven't realized it yet besides that one player. There's usually not so much of a like mechanical gap or hero kit understanding gap between players that it's... Okay, so that's their response, is the Li Ming. I'm not sure if that'll be enough, but it could be. But I like seeing the Sergeant Hammer. She did get recently buffed. I'm a little curious to see what build we see, because mostly the Mine build was what was buffed. There was a couple of other changes, but yeah, I'm excited to see. We haven't seen any Hammer yet. We've seen some bans on it, and pairing it with the Chromie makes a lot of sense, as it's a deny pick. The Li Ming is the response. Whoever's playing the hammer, it looks like it'll be unaverted, needs to be very on point with their E ability, their armor, because they have only a Deckard to save them from the Li Ming combos. If they do not react to basically every Li Ming combo, they have the opportunity to just get one shot. So yeah, unaverted is going to have to play the best game ever on Sergeant Hammer with positioning and with using his E ability if he wants to survive. I think it's going to be definitely... I don't know, Diamond Hands comp is weird because they want to just go to the objective and just stand there and throw things at you with the Chromie and the Hammer. They need to get set up early. So if Storm wants to play the game smart, they should be trying to just create macro pressure elsewhere and maybe just forcing bosses and doing things that aren't going to allow that setup on the objective for Diamond Hands. So I'm expecting Storm to win off of the objective and Diamond Hands to win if they can set up and get on the objective first.
We'll see if your clairvoyance is correct here, Justin. Thank you for the analysis, as always, as we're here into Alterac Pass. Could be the final map between these two teams today, as we have Diamond Hands on the left-hand side, Nintari on the Blaze, Heavy on the Deckard, Unaverted on the Sergeant Hammer, Caesar Salad on the Joanna, and Got Filth on the Chromie. Over on the side of Storm Esports, looking to take this series in a 3-1 way through Alterac Pass, Lauber on the Murden, June on the Anduin, CPX on the Li Ming, Svampgrad on the Urel, and Tychus to be played by Maka. Fun fact here, Grubby, Alterac Pass doesn't actually have an announcer announcing the start of the game like every other map we have, and here's the Storm. Did you know that? Yeah.
No, I did not know that.
There's like a horn when you hit 15 seconds or so. I think there's like a horn that you can hear on the battleground. But there's no like Drekthar saying like the match starts in 30 minutes, like where you have like the Ravenlord saying it or the Spore Queen saying it or so all that stuff. It's just a little fun fact. But of course, I said it last game and I wrote it down in my notebook. I'm voting for Storm Esports. Can't go against Lauber's Muradin, but it is terrifying up against this Sergeant Hammer Chromie composition, this artillery comp, if you will.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts here for either side going into Alterac Pass?
First, I'm gonna hit you back with another fun fact.
Please do.
The tunnel exit on Towers of Doom is coded as a hero. It has 1 HP.
I didn't know that. I know that it spawns at about 12:30 in the game, and it changes the structures from forts to keeps, essentially.
It has 1 HP.
But I didn't know it was coded, huh?
When you click it, it says healing fountain available. It's so sad. It never actually gets to drink the healing fountain because, you know, it can't move. It's tethered to the center of the map.
More fun facts. The bosses on this map are called Jungle Grave Golem Defenders.
What the?
Yeah, if you click on them, that is the tooltip name is Jungle Grave Golem Defender.
Do you think that they are part of a defending team that protects the dead of the jungle grave?
Ooh.
Or do you think that they are in the jungle and very serious about defending grave?
I like the former over the latter. I like that idea of just. Also,
Okay,
I think the
don't disturb the jungle animals as a final resting place.
I also think the tooltip name changes once you actually cap the boss. But little fun facts aside, we've just had some skirmishes back and forth. Nothing of major notoriety at this point. We will see that Hand of Freedom from the Urel at level 4. 30-second cooldown, grant allies 30% movement speed for 3 seconds, and remove all slows and roots from them. Looks like Sergeant Hammer's going to be going into that Advanced Artillery at level 1 and Regenerative Biosteel at level 4, which, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Neo Steel Plating. I always forget the specific name for it. Isn't that at level 4, which is the if you're sieged, you can self-cleanse essentially?
Yeah, but the strange thing about it is you're cleansed while needing to remain sieged.
That's true.
If you get stunned, you can press that and then immediately unsiege. But if there's a follow-up CC, it will catch you. If you stay sieged, you are unstoppable, but you're also unmovable because siege don't move. Now, at level 7 with Hover Siege, it gets a little better. But I have always felt stupidly newbie-ish to pick this talent, and yet it's always my favorite. I play a lot of Hammer, and the pros always show that they are taking Unstoppable. Now, the Unstoppable talent really plays in very well in a Protect the Hammer composition.
Yeah.
But as it turns out, the new Hammer actually feels a lot more like a solo laner, especially with this lifesteal, because think about it, she's got all the hallmarks of a solo laner. 1, she can win trades. 2, the mines scout for her flank, so she has more warning about ganks. 3, she now has self-heal. 4, she has an escape. And 5, she has wave clear. 6, the wave clear is from a mana efficient manner and from a great distance. So that's actually the 6 rules of solo laning. She's got everything covered. And now with level 7, Hover Siege, she can follow up a little bit better on attacks. She can dodge Li Ming attacks. Hover Siege was buffed about 10% movement speed. Before it was 40, now it's 50. So that's pretty good. That's 10% more. But it's actually 20% more than her movement speed. It's 10% more as an expression of 100% movement speed buff and debuff plays. So overall, is it 10 more? Is it 20 more? Either way, it's good. You can really tell the difference. Hammer's playing as a solo laner with all the annoyingness of a Murky. And just like Murky, she's being ignored right now. She's taking down the wall and working on the fort.
Well, God Filth should fall right here. The Slowing Sands will come out. No temporal loop, and Chromie goes down. First blood to the side of Storm Esports. Now, Grubby, you know, you broke that down so beautifully, the 6 ways of considering a solo laner. When does your book come out on how to understand roles in Heroes of Storm? When does that book come out? I know you've been working on that.
I don't have yet, but I'll start working on it right away. Maybe by next weekend of CCL. Gotta tune in to find out.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tune in, or maybe every weekend you give us just a little bit more of a tease or a taste of your book of roles for Heroes of Storm. But right now, in all seriousness, we are here in our first objective phase of the game. The reason we know this is because it's got 30 seconds of channel time necessary. Unaverted. That was beautiful from Unaverted. That read onto Lobber and with the just knockback and also the spray as well. The hammer spray was very, very good right there. But the first objective, 30 seconds. Second objective, 40 seconds. Third and onward is 50 seconds of channel time. The biggest thing, the real objective, much like on Hanamura, it's a camp. On Hanamura, the Sentinel camp, the Giant Genji, whatever you want to call it, that's the real objective. Here, the null pack through mid is often considered the main objective. A minute 30 cooldown on it. It reduces armors of enemy heroes and structures, so your siege is mega amplified from that one.
Yep, if you can get that to the wall, it's minus 20 armor, it's so good. Meanwhile, the distraction of it is being used for Hammer to do what she loves best. Wrecking ball buildings down. And, oh, there's the Haymaker. We're starting to see some anti-Hammer tech Haymaker coming in from Lauber. He won't be as survivable, and he plays aggressively and riskily. Kind of have to with Muradin to get the most out of him. So he's going to try to Haymaker Hammer, or other people, for that matter. Meanwhile, Li Ming is finding out that it's not so easy, actually, to play Li Ming into Hammer. Every time a minion wave comes, Hammer uses the level 1 force synergy to fully heal up again. And there's nothing CPX can do to stop his fort from falling.
I do like the pickup on the level 10 for Sergeant Hammer as well. One of the shortest cooldowns in Heroes of the Storm when it comes to a heroic. A 6-second cooldown for that Napalm Strike deals 253 damage, scaling on impact, and also leaves damage over time on the ground, currently at 77 for 4 seconds. Caesar Salad getting pushed around by Swamp Grata. The body blocking is attempted, but it's not going to be enough. Sergeant Hammer, that's the Haymaker! That's the Playmaker! But the Falling Sword, no! Tychus with the grenade! Oh, no!
No, he's got no grenades. He put them away. He's wearing his Titan armor now, the Odin suit.
You're
That
right.
was just an auto attack from Odin.
Sorry, my apologies. I didn't even see it come off the screen, but either way, Terran takes down Terran. TVT right there.
Yeah, that's a TVT that ended a lot quicker than we are usually used to. Odin and a TVT mech game fully. That's really surprising as well. Odin against Thors, I should say. Thors against tanks. Oh, another Haymaker!
Nice.
Oh, Haymaker getting some big value. 77, 81. Oh, there's...
Oh, I thought the straight magic missile would go in. Got Filth gets a massive big potion as they jump into the bunker. Swamp Grata's got a different target in mind. That's going to be a knockback from Unaverted. There's going to be Got Filth dropping down that second health bar. Not enough. That's a reset for Li Ming as well for her trait. That's that kind of bell sort of noise you're hearing when an enemy dies. CPX getting a reset on their abilities, Li Ming's trait.
Wait, there's a bell?
It's like, well, it's not like a bell, so that's not the right term for it. It's kind of like a jingle sort of thing. Like, there's a noise for it every time Li Ming gets a reset, and bell isn't the right term. I need to think of a better way to describe it.
Next week, when I bring out my book,
Yeah,
I want it so that I can put it in.
Stormbolt's a little anti-synergistic. There's a falling sword from the Joanna. And that's it. All right, I was waiting for more, but...
Hammer has a fort down, and now we're getting to a place where her presence is more required, more needed by the team. So whatever value she got in the bottom lane, she can't do the same thing again, most likely, here in the top lane. It's also a little bit too close to the objective. So her value will need to be proven beyond I can be a lane bully for about 10 levels. Let's see what's happening next. Napalm Strike is here. Did love the Chromie save there earlier on. At least almost Chromie save, I believe. With those potions on top of her 7-second stasis.
Swamp Grata jumps in. Nintori just putting out a little bit of Flame Stream. This is the null pack getting cleared out from the side of Storm Esports, and here comes the null pack of Diamond Hands into the Storm Esports side. We have Swamp Grata clearing out bottom lane, Chromie utilizing her level 1 Time Walker's Pursuit. That's what that giant vision circle was over the bush. And Nintori is going to be taking down the jailers around the opposing side camp. Now, if you take them down, the jailers, before the objective is up, they don't respawn. But Swamp Grata is looking for a big damage. That's a falling sword from the Joanna to mitigate any of that major sort of damage as Nintori has the bunker available. This is looking like a very low lobber. He looks like he's positioning for a Haymaker, but he's just not getting what he wants as the Ardent Defender's used by Yrel.
Yeah, Lobber has to play a lot more safe. He doesn't have that extra health bar. He just gets stunned. June pulls him away to safety. I feel like every Falling Sword has been really good so far.
I agree.
I don't usually see this having a lot of value, but isn't it like a lifesaver every time, Bahamut?
It has seemed like that. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, that's a dead hero, and then all of a sudden Falling Sword. What is it? It's been at least 2, maybe 3 Falling Swords that have just been critical. Nice knockback from Unaverted. Unaverted can read Lobber like a book with these Dwarf tosses. It's insane how well he's done this. Jet Propulsion, from Nintori. Lobber getting very low. Stay one, listen. Lobber gets the Dwarf toss away, 500 HP. As on the bottom of our screen, Swamp Grata is low, and Lobber still goes down to Caesar Salad. What?
Caesar Salad just chases Muradin with Johanna's basic kit and finishes him off when his whole team is there. Lol.
I actually don't know how that happened. I really don't know how that. I'm actually flabbergasted at this. And right now, it seems like Unaverted, with the Slowing Sands as a zoning tool, a little overkill from Maka, is going to start sieging onto mid lane, but Unaverted's got a Boostio out of here.
Yeah, every time he does that, he's got his trait let's say his mount, his boost on a 30-second cooldown, he then needs to siege and attack heroes to get it back with that level 13 hyper thrusters. But let's see what happened. Maybe on the edge of the camera, as we run a replay, we can see what happened with Johanna and Murden. So there's that interrupt on Murden. He walks away. Let's just watch Lauber. He takes damage from a jet propulsion. Chromie's starting to shoot him maybe. Auto attacks. Look at him. 500 health.
Wow.
200. 130. Wow. Meanwhile,
oh,
we
Sergeant
missed
Hammer.
Deckard and Hammer dying.
A little engagement through mid. It was very, very quickly. To be honest, I was watching back the replay to see how Lauber died right there, so I did miss it as well. But right now, the biggest thing to discuss is going to be that Sergeant Hammer and Decker Kane are dead. Mid lane should be cleared out. Top lane already has Tychus. Bottom lane already has Urel. The amount of structural damage that comes out from Diamond Hands shouldn't be too much here. Maybe the Ford and mid lane dropping down to about 25% HP.
Well, this game is actually very reminiscent of Garden of Terror in how Diamond Hands is playing it. They don't really have engage, right?
Yeah.
No temporal loop, no blessed shield. So they have no engage, so all they can do is play macro and defense. And meanwhile, that has been good for 1.6 forwards, let's say.
Wait, John on top lane right now. Caesar Salad is fine. Shield Glare on Tamaka. But Murden, he wants to come in here. Does he have 16? He's got Dwarf Launch, so you can close the distance. Lauber doesn't go for it. Caesar Salad given a really good runaround right now, just making sure that no one can actually get in position. Well, specifically Lauber as well. Caesar Salad playing around that well to deny any sort of haymaker displacement. But I think with all of that happening and no response into top lane, I think they understand on the side of Storm Esports, okay, the enemy's probably getting a boss bottom, let's grab one in top. But Joanna's shield glaring, threatening, and pretending like someone's around.
Yeah, he already defended himself aptly at his own fort and then steps forward to dismount people and slow them down. Pretty cheeky. Now, with Hammer moving in position, this jungle...
Grave Golem Defender. And see, actually, now that it's in the lane, it's actually Jungle Grave Golem Laner is actually what it's named now. Oh, Control-C.
How do you know?
Click on the boss and hit Control-C, and then you get the detailed stats.
Oh, Jungle Grave Golem Laner. Right, because it's in lane now. It's treated differently, because the Wizard Camp also gives a different level of spell armor when it is being attacked in a neutral position and when it is in the lane. That's why they need to be coded as a different unit.
It's very it's so interesting on the back end of some of these things, but the fight in mid lane does yield a fort. Jet propulsion from Blaze onto Swamp Grata, looking to get the Righteous Hammer onto this Joanna, but the Iron Skins popped and disengage happens. Second objective phase is up and available in the next 20 seconds. Levels are pretty close here. Kills aren't, but do you want to jump to some comms here? We haven't really heard from Storm, I feel, in a little bit.
Yeah, let's go.
In we go.
Number down still. Maybe we can still get her. I'm not sure though, but we'll have to try.
I'm far.
Hey, use your speed, right?
He's slow, he's slow,
I
he's
think
slow.
so. Okay, get out.
Leave,
I
leave,
don't?
leave.
Okay, nice.
Place flank, I'm on my way.
We got to a pony sword now,
Watch
we can engage them now.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, like, this time I can light bomb because they don't have a...
Yeah. Oh, this guy! He's split! Caesar! Oh.
I stun off there.
Kill him! I am maker! Kill him!
You're asleep.
He's slowed.
Nice.
I'm out in here.
Kill this guy!
Oh, my bad.
Get out.
Oh,
I can't.
Oh no.
She's looking me.
Oh.
It's alright. Scaling.
Yeah, it's fine, I guess.
I don't have ult now for 1.5 minutes.
We can't get them. Okay.
Hammer stop again.
The wind being just taken out of the sails at the end of those comms right there. They were so emphatic about their kills, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, we're scaling. You know, at least CPX is trying to at least kind of keep the momentum. Yeah.
Master Assassin, you're gonna need 9 more kills, bro.
Man, I got, 20s are big too. 20s are big. Grand Slam is huge at 20.
Everyone's 20s are big, right? Like, let's talk about how Heavy survives there. He was 1v4. He got the bunker, which was fantastic job there by Nintori. And then Fortitude of the Faithful was used. The cool thing about Fortitude of the Faithful, it gives an aura effect to all nearby allies, including Deckard himself. It can proc once per second on an auto attack, dealing 130 bonus damage, and Splash and you heal for 190 for every enemy hero hit. So if there's 3 people around Deckard and he does a single auto attack, that's going to heal him for 400 health. You combine that together with any potion of shielding that he's eating, and the fact that he can stun someone, and he is surprisingly survivable. Plus, he has 10 armor by himself, or 25 from the bunker, which he just exited. So what they thought was going to be another easy kill actually turned on its heels. Deckard survived. Storm ended up losing a member.
On the note of that Ancient Blessings, it is off a cooldown, so we could see that pop for Unaverted. Keep your eyes out for that one. As the Heraldric Staff is available, we know this because his staff is actually glowing. That level 16 means that he has a 0.75 second stun, and it's just that's the visual indicator for it. So Unaverted, or excuse me, Swamp Grotto jumps in, gets the insta-mount with a Divine Steed from level 7. Both teams posturing around the second objective phase. Top lane Fort sitting on a sliver of HP. As we can see on the minimap, that's a lot of damage into Got Filth. Commandeer Odin coming down with the big red button available. Seraphim was the level 24, the Urel as well. We did see that a little bit early, and I'm just checking cooldowns for Urel. She's got everything ready to go. The fight breaks out, and Tori comes in with the Jet Propulsion. Aren't defenders used? It doesn't really do much, as Lauber has to dwarf launch out of this engagement. Seems like we get a bit of a reset from the side of Storm Esports, as Diamond Hands are the ones still advancing towards the objective.
Unaverted now is an absolute power out. He's got ultra capacitors. When he auto attacks enemy heroes, he can scale up to 60% bonus attack speed. So if he keeps attacking, how many attacks does he need for that? Do we know that?
6, right?
10. Yeah, 6 auto attacks.
Yeah.
6 consecutive auto attacks, and he's just hammering them. Absolutely insane. Turn on mechanical know-how to get even 30% extra damage as well, and he's basically doing practically double DPS. Now, nice little channel there, just getting a few seconds for Diamond Hands. They're still ahead in the macro. 5 versus 3.14.
Oh.
They're trying to make a play for Nintori!
Bunker comes down with a sliver of HP. Nintori gets to the far side of the wall as Lauber can't get out of here. Did go for the rewind on his level 20. No Grand Slam, and I'm actually going to check really quickly for Lauber. Does he have rewind available? Not for 45 more seconds, but he's got a Stormbolt and all the other basic abilities available. And that Haymaker's up in 20 seconds as the stall on the channel will be at 21 seconds to go for the side of Storm Esports, 18 seconds to go for the side of Diamond Hands on our second objective here on our 4th map in this first best of 5 of the day. Man, I am loving this one. Like this is so far my standout match of the weekend, regardless of how this match or this map goes right now. Unaverted backing away. Swamp Grotto looking for the channel, but can't get anything just yet as there's a null pack through mid that has to be dealt with at some point.
I love how CPX keeps trying to get Hammer out of position with a big propulsion. Grubby is now out of position. In comes the light bomb. Wow, Falling Sword is doing so much! Murden, oh my god, he got smacked by those angelic swords from Falling Sword. Just raining down with the shocks from below. Now they're gonna try and fight a 4v5, can they? With Odin, Urel as a surrogate tank here. Oh my god! They get the return kill on Caesar Salad!
Tank for tank is down. Got Filth is low, Nintori as well. Potions being thrown out by Hebi. We do have the the elderly at level 24, that Deckard Kane as well. Unaverted gets, well, I was gonna say chunked, but not at all. It's Maka, the one who has to run away. CPX throwing out a Arcane Orb. June looking for the interrupt and does get it with the Divine Star. Maka has to Hearth out for full reset. But I don't see a world where they can continually delay out against Sergeant Hammer and the rest of Diamond Hands on the side of Storm. Here comes another Alliance Cavalry out from the side of Vandar Stormpike.
What a cool game. Really, really unique. I mean, we don't see a lot of Haymaker, we don't see a lot of Sergeant Hammer, and it's cool to see how he plays it. Keep in mind, Hammer doesn't feel safe unless she has Hyper Thrusters available, and she can only cast that if she gets enough auto attacks on the enemy. He's doing it really well. Meanwhile, objective has been successfully defended. Great job by Diamond Hands. They're going to get the generals pushing down the lanes.
Alright, so the Alliance Cavalry spawning on the Stormpike side of the map. What's the priority? I think top lane might lose the fort all on its own without any sort of assistance. Lauber checking the bush with a Stormbolt. We do see some danger pings coming out as well, as June is going to get some healing out to the allies. And this is tense right now, especially on the side of Storm, who seem to be kind of falling behind here on map 4.
Uh-oh, Maka in a very compromised position. Nice. Pulling him over the edge there by June. Let's see, how many cooldowns does June have left? Okay, he still has a second charge of Leap of Faith.
from that level 16 Glyph of Faith. Now look at Swampgrad at the top of our screen, looking for a flank, probably onto Unaverted or Heavy. There's going to be the Unstoppable. Heavy's the target. Light Bomb Murden goes in with the Dwarf Toss. Falling Sword from the Joanna. Swampgrada, is going to get, as we like to call that over on my stream, that's a Kaimo cleanse, unfortunately, where you go for the cleanse with the Leap of Faith and it doesn't come through as the fort in mid lane, excuse me, keep in mid lane will fall.
So, the problem here for Storm, as it turns out, is Falling Sword.
Yeah.
Especially level 20 Falling Sword.
Oh, yeah.
No matter how good the engage is, there will be a Falling Sword. And because of the CDR, Heaven's Fury, it's always available.
Mm-hmm.
Really smart
I'm 100% with
I love
you,
it.
and I think that was something I really overlooked when I was assessing these teams' power levels. I was like, okay, yeah, Joanna, great, Sergeant Hammer, great, but I didn't consider that. Hold on, there's going to be a time stop that will save Sergeant Hammer. That's an assistance from Got Filth. So many members are so split. All three keeps are down the side of Storm Esports. They take a bad fight here. It could be over. We could be heading to a map number 5. Caesar Salad wants the shield glare, wants something, but June and the rest won't give it away, and this is going to be just URL dead for the next 8 seconds.
Yeah, this is crazy. Just how they're keeping Hammer alive and the kind of damage he starts putting back out on top of Storm Esports with 3 keeps down. You know, Alterac is not the Winion type of map, Bahamut. You know that, I know that. But with 3 keeps down, even a Hellbat camp, even a Nullpack camp can finish the core when left unattended. And the funny thing is, there's even still a Nullpack in the field right now. Oh no, that's the one they stole. Never mind. I was is that the previous one still alive?
No.
Once they get Nullpack, that has to be dealt with 20 seconds hence. And there's a top and a bottom boss available with right now a lack of information, a scarcity of information for Storm Esports. Is it the top boss? Is it the bottom boss? Urel had to scout bottom because they can't afford not knowing where Diamond Ants is going to go, because level 23 boss wins the game. Swampgrota did a great job getting information. Last chance for Storm coming in here. Leeming and Tychus are really far back, but they did get Heaven's Fury out.
Oh! Ooh, that was a really, really scary moment for Swampgrotto, as that will be a haymaker onto one person that's going to be the... Oh my god, the Ardent Defender just in time, but the Chrome is getting very low. There's a Dwarf Toss out from Lauber. He's trying to back away. Big Condemn from Joanna. Subdue to Slow. That's a Leap of Faith from June to save the day. No one going down on the side of Storm Esports, but a lot of health bars are... Lauber goes back in with the Dwarf Toss. Big red button. Is going to chunk onto Unaverted, but it doesn't really feel like it matters right now. It just feels like full disengage from Storm. They run away, as this is still Diamond Hands rushing to core. Drekthar is down to 50% HP below that. Will Diamond Hands end? They're advancing through bottom lane. They're looking at Urel. That was a nice Haraja Cube as well. Did have the healing reduction, that's why you see the negative 75 on Swampgrada's name. Are they trying to end here? The core's got 8,000 or so HP. This feels very doable, especially with the... I feel like you right-click the core, you end the game. Maka will fall. Ladies and gentlemen, our first best of 5 of the day will be going to a game number 5. The first best of 5 to go to a game number 5. GG, well played. I gotta say, Diamond Hands, you are blowing me away with the way that you're drafting, playing this, and this once again felt like a macro win. Like, yes, there were some very good team fights, but I feel like this victory for Diamond Hands was very much through the macro play. Good micro, good team fights, good defense from Heavy and Caesar Salad, but Justing, unaverted MVP. Unaverted, just heavy MVP here.
Yeah, Sergeant Hammer looks completely broken. In that game, it really felt like... I've played with Unaverted, and I kind of know what his comms are like, and he was definitely having a lot of fun that game. I could hear it in my head, like him just giggling as he's knocking Lauber away, as Lauber tries to jump on him. Like, I could definitely... I could feel what Unaverted was feeling in that moment. He had a lot of power in that game on the Sergeant Hammer. It felt like in teamfights he was nearly entirely untouched. If anyone ever tried to get on him, it was Muradin and Urel, which are both really predictable with their jumps, and he can just knock them out of the air, just slap them out of the sky whenever they're mid-air trying to get to him. And you could tell the frustration from the side of Storm trying to, dive onto him. They felt like they needed to get onto the Sergeant Hammer. There we see one. Unaverted booping Lauber away. This is the fight where he ends up dying to Caesar Salad on the Johanna in a little bit. Between Gotfilth having the slowing sands and the clocks, and Unaverted having the knockback and the spider mines, and then having Caesar Salad, if anything ever actually happens where they actually do get in range, Caesar Salad being really on point with the Unstoppable from the Falling Sword. It was cool to see that synergy and that coordination, that they understood that they were purely a defensive composition, that they were basically just a big big juggernaut unit meat grinder thing, just kind of slowly crawling forward around unaverted on the hammer and playing to protect him. There were no aggressive falling swords that left the backline exposed, so Caesar Salad having good restraint, understanding that he's kind of he's only peeling this game. He's peeling for the hammer, and if he peels for the hammer, they win. And you could tell that Lauber getting extremely frustrated, as I've talked on in the past about how Lauber has kind of one mode, and that's go in and fight. He likes to play aggressively, and having to play against a composition like this is definitely an irritating experience if you are Lauber on that mode, and trying to be aggressive and just getting brick walled every time, running into the Sergeant Hammer and getting all of these heal tools. It's just too much to deal with for the Urel and the Murden. There's really no way to get in, and even if you do, it gets countered by the Falling Sword. The fact that Unaverted single-handedly was able to get the bottom fort during the early game just by himself is kind of ridiculous. Pretty much no other hero in the entire game could even come close to getting as much siege as Unaverted did through the early game. And then they also had the Chromie throughout the early game to stall the top objective basically forever. They stalled it until they get an advantage where they can actually capture it themselves, but Chromie on this map does give you the ability to basically, if you get the correct spawn for it, if you're able to be over the wall there. And Gottfilth did this. He basically never allowed them to have any chance or any thought of even trying to capture the objective, because you always have the sandblast over the wall. There's literally no way to capture the objective if you are the side of Storm through the early game. So they have Chromie stall topside, they have Unaverted on the hammer, just run it down bottom and nothing can respond to him because he's ranged and he has lifesteal. Sergeant Hammer looked completely broken in that game. There might be a reason that we've been seeing it banned against Oxygen. I think it might be something that we'll see a lot more going forward, similarly to Medivh and Glaurung back in the day, where you had to ban it against him because he was the only one who knew how to play it. But then as soon as everyone else learned how to play it, then you just had to ban it against everyone because the hero was just OP. That's kind of what it looks like with Sergeant Hammer. Unaverted had way too much fun that game.
And I think all of us had a lot of fun in that last game. I personally had a blast on that one. I'm sure Grubby, you had some fantastic moments. I'm sure Grubby's already sitting in his brain. He's like, how can I take Sergeant Hammer and go to Grandmaster #1?
How did
exactly
you know?
what Unaverted did. Yeah, see? I'm in your brain, Grubby. We've been around each other way too long. I know you too well. But seriously, this series is so freaking good, and you cannot miss the next map, because the next map will determine who takes this best of 5 series. Will it be Diamond Hands, or will it be Storm Esports for the victory? Before we go to the break, I want you all to do something very important during said break. I want you to hit exclamation point prize pool. Because of your generosity, because of your donations, we are encroaching onto $6,000. We're at $5,769.69 because of all of your amazing generosity to HeroesCCL. So thank you all at home. We're going to take a short little break. When we come back, we will find out the victor of this best of 5 series. Don't go anywhere. This is HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and Cho'Gall choosers. Yes, I see you out there. Thank you for picking the best hero in Heroes of the Storm. My name is Bahamut, and you are watching HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom. But of course, it's not just me. I got Grubby, I got Jesting, maybe a little Springy from time to time, but we're having a great day. We're watching some amazing Heroes of the Storm, and we are getting ready for map number 5, our first map number 5 in HeroesCCL Season 4, between the members of Diamond Hands versus Storm Esports. And Justin, really, really quickly, this has been the most even matchup we've seen this season so far. I know it's week 2, but still, this feels so well leveled against each other.
Yeah, and these were teams that I think pretty much everyone had in the power rankings right next to each other, no matter where they put them. They were always just neck and neck, so it's kind of to be expected to some extent, but this is even closer than we could have anticipated. We had the closest game on Towers of Doom we've ever seen, with them nearly having the exact same shots all the way up until the very end, just being completely even on shots, and to have the series be completely even in score with game score feels fitting for the whole series.
Well, these teams have a fire lit under their butts, and let's find out where we're going to head to for map number 5 and see what is going to be the map choice and by who. Diamond Hands have chosen to take us to Sky Temple. That means that Storm Esports, the losing team on that last map, Alterac, have opted in for first pick priority. Grubby, Sky Temple, it's not a map that you can kind of just sit idly by. You need to be proactive, active, macro, micro, you got to kind of check every box here, especially letting Harrison Jones out right below the boss, right?
Gotta do it. Gotta open that little thing and get Harrison Jones to, yeah, that's, no, but about the other point, the less important point, but that I will nonetheless address because I'm more knowledgeable about it. Sky Temple is a map where it is very difficult to get a comeback when you don't have enough wave clear. You don't see a lot of double supporting here. You do, one of my favorite compositions here that we haven't really seen yet, running Abathur and Uther. Abathur and Uther on this map is so good. And you get a very mobile team, and I just feel like the world's yours. I don't know why we're not seeing it as much. We're seeing a lot of like global picks, but not a lot of like Lucio, Tyrael, Greymane, Abathur, Uther. Like, well, actually not both Lucio and Uther, but like some of that. It's so good together.
So,
see what we're gonna get.
Justin, this map brings back fond memories of our preseason show called Please Try This at Home over on the HeroesHearth YouTube, where we did a lot of fun things. We did Abathur with Sergeant Hammer. We did Murky Nova. We also did Main Tank Rhaegar with Yuumi and Allura. And do you think these teams would be as innovative as we are? Do you think they could go for the Main Tank Rhaegar with the Lightning Shield build? Are they going to go Sergeant Hammer, run it down bottom lane? Do you think we can see any sort of shenanigans is the biggest question that I have for you here.
I hope these teams aren't cowards. I expect nothing less than a Cho'Gall with a Rhaegar main tank. But
boom.
I can see the...
He's gone! That's it! Grubby's gone! That's it! Thank you so much, Grubby, for joining us for HeroesCCL Season 4. It is now just going to be Justin and I taking over for the remainder of the broadcast.
I heard Cho'Gall and I'm out.
Okay. But in all seriousness, let us actually talk a little bit about like draft theory and things we could actually see here, Justin.
So the Sergeant Hammer performed extremely well in the last game. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to pick it if it's not banned in this game as well. Storm Esports has banned the Chromie, which is one of Sergeant Hammer's worst, if not her worst counter. So having that be banned by Storm makes me think either they're comfortable playing it. I know CPX has played a lot of games on all of the ranged heroes. Either they're comfortable playing it or they have some other counter that they are really ready to play into it. The Sergeant Hammer in the last game was just such a problem that I would not be surprised to see it picked even more early. It really seemed ridiculous. And on a map like Sky Temple, if Unaverted was able to split push in the same way and get an entire fort in the early game like he did, on Sky Temple that's not really a recoverable thing without taking a lot more risks than you'd like. Because typically you're just trading objectives once you get an advantage, so if you can just create an advantage randomly with one hero, being able to get an entire fort on your own, like Unaverted did in the last game, that would just be like nearly insurmountable without a death push through bottom by the opposing team.
I seriously, I loved how Unaverted played that Sergeant Hammer, and seriously, like, I was joking around like Grubby's gonna go into Storm League with it, but I feel like a lot of us should go download the replay through the HeroesCCL Discord and literally click on Sergeant Hammer, hit the L key on your keyboard, zoom out one with Z, and just watch exactly what Unaverted's doing, because I feel like there's so much we can learn from just that game. But of course, we're in another game, we've got some bans already coming through, and Grubby, there's a lot exploding on the screen.
Yeah, Murden Blaze, really a solid opener that doesn't say anything about where you're going to go. I think it's a smart takeaway from Labra as well. Even though they didn't get the victory last game with Murden, it was really a well-crafted composition that made it difficult for him. It's that falling sword that stopped him. I think it's a good start here for Diamond Hands. Now, not a lot of globals yet. We do see Tychus. Tychus just sustained his first loss in the best of 5. So he's 3-1 this series. And it was against Sergeant Hammer, an even bigger gun. My gun's bigger, she says. So, and there we go. Hogger and Tychus.
Alrighty. Any thoughts here, Justin, as we are getting into another ban phase?
I'm expecting Storm to ban Hammer here. The getting a Hogger and Lucio seems kind of nuts for Storm. I think they've got pretty much everything that they want. They have the Tychus to help deal with the Muradin. They have Lucio, which is the Lucio and Junkrat kind of what you should be hoping to get from first pick. I like that they banned out the Johanna, although that is going to somewhat limit them now that the Muradin has been picked by Diamond Hands. There we do see the Sergeant Hammer banned away, so no shenanigans coming out from Diamond Hands in the same way as the last game. No Sergeant Hammer for Unaverted. I think that makes quite a lot of sense. So Diamond Hands is going to theoretically have a tank advantage while they choke the tank pool by banning the Anubarak, having the enemy banning the Johanna. They took the Muradin, which I think is smart. Now support is going to be slightly limited, but they have good options still. They have Anduin, they have Brightwing, they even have Stukov. Brightwing is picked up. The Falstad for Gotfilth. Just really good all-around picks for Diamond Hands. Picking up the double global should help them a lot on a huge map like Sky Temple.
All right, well, there's that respect on the Sergeant Hammer. But I do like the double global coming out from Diamond Hands. We will see that Brightwing from Heavy. I think Diamond Hands Grubby is putting together a very, very strong draft here. What do you think about these last 2 picks from Storm?
Diablo was protected by the Tychus pick. Tychus counters Hogger and Diablo, so that was a smart order of picks. Falstad is kind of a suboptimal auto attacker into Diablo, so I really like what Storm has here so far. Does Falstad then spec into AA build? But he's super fragile, you know what I mean? So it's risky. Now, who do you get here in that last spot? Another range, another melee. It could be Tracer or something, but I don't love it. Greymane a little bit more sturdy, makes a bit more sense, and you get that Cursed Bullet for Diablo. So now Falstad is still allowed to play Mage build, which is a lot safer and more appropriate for him. And now Greymane is going to be the one that tries to hurt the Diablo here.
In the past, we had Falstad, Gotfilth doing auto attack build, but of course, Justin, while we have you, can you break down what your thoughts are here for the final map here between these 2 teams on Sky Temple?
So in a macro sense, Diamond Hands should be relatively advantageous with the way that they're able to siege. They have Blaze that defense pushes a lot better than anything on the side of Storm, but Storm has a more aggressive siege. When they have the Odin later on, they're going to have Hogger, who can do camps by himself a lot quicker than Blaze can. So you have kind of differing dynamics. You have Storm's comp that's a lot more aggressive, and Diamond Hands comp that is a lot more safe. I'm not really expecting Falstad, played by Gotfilth, to really look for any aggressive gust plays or anything like that. I think most likely the game is going to be just whichever team takes the momentum in the early game will kind of take it throughout. But Diamond Hands does have slightly better tools on the boss point with the Gust if things do get shaky and they need to kind of go for a Hail Mary play on that boss.
Well, we're here, loaded on into map number 5 between Diamond Hands and Storm Esports, and thank you as always, Justin, for the analysis. We'll see you after the game for the post-analysis. As we got Gotfilth on the Falstad, Heavy on the Brightwing, Nentori on the Blaze, Caesar Sal to play the Murden, and Unaverted on the Greymane. Over in the red, Storm Esports, Maka on the Tychus, Svamgrad on the Hogger, CPX to play the Maiev, Lucio to be played by June, and Lauber on the Diablo. I've wrote down a Diamond Hands win. I know Gotfilth did go into this the Gathering Storm at level 1, but you had brought up, Grubby, the auto attack build potentially from Falstad, and in the past, Gotfilth was one of the few Falstad players who did utilize the auto attack build, and that was up against, I think it was like back towards the end of CCL Season 3 where we were seeing a lot more like double bruiser plus tank, hyper carry sort of drafts. That Falstad was chunking into a Deathwing, I think it was Inferno Shrines.
Yeah.
I remember that. Like, I remember Gotfilth just absolutely playing insanely out of their mind, but that's all in the past. Right now, we're looking towards the future, and this is going to be a pretty good start from the side of Diamond Hands, getting a little bit of tower damage in bottom lane. Our Siege Giants will be spawning here in 50 seconds. But of course, Grubby, I've been talking a lot here myself. Gotta get your thoughts on these drafts, on what's unfolding, and what we could potentially see.
Never enough for me. You're talking.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
Too kind.
So, yeah, no, I love the flow. So, okay, so now they're going to go for the Siege Camp. No invades. I think we had a Sky Temple game yesterday. The very first Siege Camp had an invade already. Oh, was it the Nova game? Yeah, well.
Yeah, I think it was it 30k versus Simplicity, I think, was it not?
Yeah.
That was a fun game. Madara. Oh my god, yeah. Madara. I want to watch more Madara Nova, but of course that.
Yeah, we may not see it again. Yeah, we may not see it again. Maybe it was a Simplicity only game there. But very quick double camp from Storm, Siege and Bruiser, and Diablo. You know, Diablo before he has souls and a bunch of his talents, he does usually play the lane. That's how I play Diablo too. Just kind of not that scary yet, just doing the lane, kind of helping with the Siege camp. So with him doing that, that's gonna leave 3 people to push top with Bruiser. For Storm, who took the Bruiser significantly faster. Now that can be really good. It can be bad. They took it fast enough for it to be a good thing. If this Bruiser arrived seconds later, it would be stopped by the Bruiser camp. But now it's getting real siege damage. They're already in position to clear mid. Ogre to clear mid and then to come top. And even Diablo won the lane, so he can come top. You could even have something like a 4 or 5 man top by Storm.
Caesar Sal gets the Dwarf Toss away. Does have block stacks at 1. Went into Sledgehammer at 4 for more siege damage into structures and waves. But oh my god, CPX with the Vault of the Wardens gets away. The Gilnean Cocktail through the gate. But the auto attacks will not be enough. Lauber comes in with the Shadow Charge, getting chunked down to about 50%. Good polymorph as well from Hebi. Which, what I love about this Brightwing is just the Maiev wants to go in, June wants to harass and kind of poke around and wall ride, and Diablo wants to initiate. Hebi point and click CC, I really, really do like the polymorph pickup, or just the Brightwing pickup in general. And it's a good healer regardless of the map, I feel, but Heavy is going to be able to utilize a great shutdown ability onto Lauber and friends. I wonder actually if this might be a potential kill onto Diablo. He does get polymorph. There's the jet propulsion from the Blaze, but without Falstad, it doesn't feel like there's enough damage available. Falstad dealing with the center point, and Greymane still laning as he gets the phase shift from Brightwing. Lauber stepping onto the point.
Yeah, Storm is very motivated to take the top temple because they will lose their top fort if all the lasers go to Diamond Hands. So Storm does not want to step off, but it doesn't look like they are necessarily winning this fight. Maka getting some nice damage to Muradin. He jumps away, and that's the cooldown where Tychus can actually threaten Muradin. He will have it back again, but Muradin will also be full health again because of the type of tank he is. So far though, Storm does manage to get these lasers. And Hogger Falstad had a kind of epic one-on-one that Svamkrota is doing really good at. Like, he's winning with basically melee range, right? Into someone that has, what is it, 5.5 range on the auto attack? It's pretty impressive.
I do believe, I believe Falstad is 5.5 range. Yes, he is. As the, because that was actually the same thing I was wondering too. I was watching the minimap and I was looking at the top bar to see the health bars, and I was like, how is Falstad at like 50% and Svamkrota still like around 70-80% of their HP? It's a little bit of just an player difference, I would say. Like, not to like knock down Got Filth by any means, just I think Svamkrota is just really playing around these points and utilizing his abilities extremely well into that range from Falstad. As we have even experience, no kills just yet. The map, the tension, it's all here in front of us, and we're gonna see. I feel like the next objective will be big, and we should probably jump into comms for that one, because it will be single in the bottom of the map.
Yeah, would be super entertaining to hear from them again. As Lauber once again steps forward to that siege camp. I wonder if Brightwing will mess with him. Oh my god, the polymorph to interrupt the shadow charge in the mid. Steps back for the phase shift. That's how you want to do it for Brightwing. Don't want to be interruptible by a Tychus grenade when you're doing your phase shift, so that's nice. Now, Diamond Hands get quite a bit of damage with their siege camp on the bottom towers. For the rest, the lasers were traded fairly evenly, maybe tiny advantage to Storm. But Diamond Hands got more mercenary camp push value, both via the top bruiser and the bottom siege. So the macro is once again going in an early favor towards Diamond Hands. I feel like that's been consistent over all 4 maps so far, but Storm has had slightly more coordinated, aggressive team fights, and that has gotten them their wins. So it's a really cool match between 2 different skill sets, with both teams just playing incredibly.
We do have the, Caesar Salad chasing June around in mid lane with the Muradin and the Lucio. I think maybe just checking rotations here. As that's Jet Propulsion not to connect from Nintori. Looking bottom temple next in bottom. Do you want to get into some comms and who?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go into Storm.
In we go.
Let them push top. Like, the top is already dead, that's why. Like, they can push top and we can just play for the shrine.
Yeah,
we have to get to the shrine like pretty fast though.
Can I'm gonna get on this instantly. Yeah,
get on it as soon as possible. Yeah.
Top's gone.
Yeah, Mara was showing, so
I want to play out of vision. I don't know sure where I am. Okay, push bottom. There's top. Like they're inting. This is really good for us.
I'm gonna ult him.
Yep.
they might go deep too.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. We can recall pretty soon here.
I don't want to lose the keep.
They're coming to the gate.
No, but we're not gonna lose the keep. We can start recalling now.
I'm finishing temple.
Yeah, he gassed it to stall us.
No poly.
Just recall. Should be fine. This is a really good trade for us. They got like fucking only wall and a fort, half fort. Nice. Okay, we're ahead now. Nice, really good.
I don't guess before, do you know?
No bot.
I'm playing bottom, yeah.
I bullet.
Okay.
I'm pretty far.
Maybe watching.
Yes, I'm watching.
Go.
Nice.
Okay,
Can we leave?
He needs it.
He's in a dish. So.
We're good.
Yeah, we're fine. Leave.
I'm breaking the small.
I'm out.
Alright,
They're good. Can we boss? Is it in?
We have Ghost in 10.
He's
Watch me,
up,
Alright.
Look at me.
I lose my W. I am coming.
That's fine. It's fine.
I lost my W.
Yeah, I'm out.
This is really bad.
Yeah, it's okay.
Just 2 each.
Yeah, we gotta kill. We get the
Good
XP.
tap and then. Yeah. I blood again. Can we look again in a sec? We have everyone.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Okay. Maybe
It's good. Look.
I thought it'd be fun to jump in between both sides' comms. So at first we heard Storm Esports in that mid lane engagement. We did hear from the side of Diamond Hands as actually the fight does continue. We're jumping out of comms. A lot to discuss in all of that as the gust comes out from Falstead. Brightwing trying to back away. Phase shift onto Caesar Salad. Oh no! Maka with the denial.
Oh my god, I feel like there was a 1.99 second phase shift just stopped on the final frame by Maka. He's like, Odin, by the way, hit him with, let's see, what's that called actually? Annihilate. Did you know that? Q is called Annihilate.
I didn't know it was called Annihilate, but that is a very fitting name for that kill, that snipe onto Caesar Salad. But yeah, we got to hear from Lauber and friends about how they were playing the lane, and they were like, okay, we're gonna push bottom, we're gonna get bottom temple, and then I thought, I was like, let's jump in the opposing side comms, see what Diamond Hands is discussing, and I do like what they were kind of going for. Also, how they're playing safe in some of those moments. Like there was some very, very like, I don't like this, let's back away, and I like that call. That's very, very smart from Diamond Hands.
You were trying something new there with the comm switch over. I didn't realize we were Diamond Hands at first for a sec. Next time we'll try to announce it, but I do like the concept a lot as you tried it here, and we suddenly heard from Diamond Hands as they went in for that that kill that they got at that very moment. It went really well. We got lucky with that. As Hogger's shockwave misses, panic shockwave,
Greymane?
Diablo and Hogger getting hunted. Greymane unaverted, so deep into the bunker.
Got the auto attacks he needed. He was able to just constantly chase. He also has that on the prowl unaverted. Inner Beast increases movement speed by 30% once it's active for 3 seconds. And so just, I absolutely love the way that the side of Diamond Hands is playing this. It's 2-1 in kills. Macro-wise, though, it feels like it should be over the side of Diamond Hands. Say goodnight, June. I'm sorry. Goodbye. I say macro-wise it's good for Diamond Hands. Structurally, no, but with the couple kills we just saw and with the half a level lead or so, I think Diamond Hands should find some decent structural value or siege during this double objective phase.
Yeah, getting a bottom temple already, top temple as well. Tychus actually moves towards Blaze, checks out who's there. It's a 4 versus 3. Falstad finished bottom temple. Top temple still entirely healthy. They go in on Murden. Can phase shift proc? Yes, it does.
Avatar as well. There's a containment disc. That's an umbral bind. No, not an umbral bind. They want to go for Brightwing. No blink heal available because the silence for 1.5 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Revenge? Revenge on unaverted.
Wow. Revenge for
the kill over on...
Yeah, on the right side before?
Yeah, because around the Siege Giant camp, unaverted got the kill. I mean, it was on to Hogger, but still, Tychus and friends, they get the revenge.
Everything is a revenge then, right? Like the
I guess,
feud,
yeah, that
family
is true.
feud will never end.
That is true. That is true. That's actually a very good point that you're making.
This has to stop.
Never. And actually,
it
let's take a look.
Will only stop when one of our cores is dead. Let's check into the replay of the latest revenge act in this family feud. Murden there gets attacked. 2 seconds. That's a huge Bronze Spirit Rage heal. There's the Warden's disc on Brightwing, and she is stunned and silenced, which is why she couldn't get away, like Bahamut mentioned. As we go back to the present, we can see that so much has been gained off the back of those 2 kills by Storm. Double Siege Camp and Boss. They're still down structurally, though, but they should be in a pretty good position to get top for it. In fact, Bahamut, if Storm doesn't use this 4-man bot distraction to get top for it, I'd be a little disappointed.
Yeah, right now it seems like Storm are just kind of pushing out their waves slowly but surely. And I'm looking at Murden's rotation. Murden knows. Caesar Salad knows what the call is, and I wonder if he really can even stop this. He's setting up in a bush as I'm looking at the map, and Tychus is kind of floating around. I think Tychus is in the bush as well as we kind of pan past him. Lauber with the vision, the eye, if you will, on the top center of the map. This is Caesar Salad playing out of vision against that wall. There is a sidewall available. Tychus trying to step in. There's a Stormbolt onto June, who's able to high-five away.
Yeah, they get the top fort. I really feel like it could have just been Lucio and Juan pushing into top fort before Bruiser arrive, and then Bruiser could be used as a push or distraction. But anyway, it still kind of works out that way. Spell armor still active. 20 spell armor for everyone inside the night camp, but it's gone. June looking to skate everyone away. Caesar Salad, let's look at his cooldown. 2 seconds to a jump. 1 second. What's he gonna do?
That's a shockwave onto Caesar Salad. He pops the avatar immediately. A soothing mist from the Brightwing as Hogger gets a pretty good spin. That's actually a great spin. Unfortunately, unaverted. He wants another kill. He gets the Knoll as Caesar Salad's looking for some sort of Storm Bolt. There's a Curse Bullet, I believe, into Diablo. A lot of damage onto Lauber. He's polymorphed. That's a crab that's going to be cooked. And we do have souls reset for Diablo.
Did you see Diablo fall down that Sky Temple gap?
Oh, he didn't ragdoll. He just fell on the ground in front of me.
Really?
Aww.
Oh, I must have higher graphics because I'm watching it on my...
I have everything maxed out. It's weird because I've had this discussion with someone before. Sometimes people see different ragdolls.
Really?
Which is yeah. I have like max settings on everything. So it's just like,
wow.
I'm like, yeah, I know, it's weird. But what is also weird is
Dieback, Diablo dieback.
Yeah, Diablo
Classic.
dieback. That is classic right there. Maybe not weird. CPX tries to back away, throws the containment disc. Unaverted. Falstad is also going to be going in. Got filth. Trying to find that kill.
What?
Caesar Salad, hello?
That was a Gilnean cocktail kill on my F. I thought he was out, but Unaverted got the kill.
Nice.
With that. I'm checking the death timer on my F to be sure exactly what happened. Let's see. My F. Checking death timer. Final damage. No, it was an auto attack. Never mind.
Nice.
Wow, that was long range.
Does he have the range increase? Isn't there a range increase for Greymane?
Yes, he does. He does. Okay.
Oh yes, Quicksilver Bullets at level 7. Increase Greymane's human basic attack range by 1.1.
Yeah, no blunderbuss yet. But now, Diamond Hands, significant lead. How many temple shots? Yeah, this is double keep. Oh my god, that's double keep.
Huge.
Diamond Hands is one step away from victory, and Storm, one step away from disaster. Boss, 1 minute 30, Bahamut.
It's a tense one here, but it's a real fun one on Sky Temple map number 5. Heavy getting the last shots out. Should have phase shift off a cooldown. Checking for anyone wondering. Yes, phase shift off cooldown. Blaze and friends are kind of postured around the Bruiser camp. It's 55 seconds away. I think it was mostly Diamond Hands positioning forward aggressively to try and keep pressuring Storm Esports because there's a solid level lead and a talent tier to the side of Diamond Hands.
Yeah, Storm is not in the driving seat. They're in the passenger seat, and yeah, this is they're just waiting to see where they're gonna get driven. Diamond Hands can do exactly what they want, so I think they should even delay this Bruiser camp. Oh, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
Are we still in comms? Are they listening to us?
Did you leave me in there? Am I hearing you telepathically only right now?
We have been working on that quite a bit. But as we just kind of take stock of the map, I mean, Falstead stacks are not the highest, but I don't think that's like a critical thing to talk about because it's been 7-3 in kills. Falstead's doing a great job of just pushing out the side lanes. Checking some of the siege and stuff like that. Falstead just broke 100k on siege. Blaze with 126,000 on the opposing side. The closest is the Tychus with 110,000. So, and that's just siege damage. But it was just Falstead. He may not be using his hammering as much for big damage, but still getting some great wave clears. 20s are up on both sides. Augur with the no control. It's a big one to talk about.
Yeah, no control. No control could be big, but normally I wouldn't take it into Falstad Greymane. There was a Hogger game just now that also didn't take it into Greymane Tychus. And for good reason, because it's way too risky. But the reason he went for it is because he knows it's almost over the game, so he wants to go for a Hail Mary play. And even that may not be enough because they just take the Bruiser camp, they go with the Mighty Cast onto the core, click the core. However, the core is still at 40%, 30%. Bahamut!
Big red button. That is going to be a core rush that was well played. Caesar Salad sits on top of the core. Victorious. Diamond Hands. They clutch the victory. And I'm sure all of you over on Ball Street are making sure that you're getting your correct payouts for all those great kills, because seriously, I gotta be honest, Diamond Hands and Storm Esports, a very, very close matchup when it comes to just skill levels and everything like that, but I think Diamond Hands, they have the edge, and it comes out in macro, at least in my opinion. Their micro, their team fights, strong. I feel like Diamond Hands, have an extremely good idea and grasp of how to macro on all these maps, and of course, Justing, gotta get your thoughts on everything that was Sky Temple.
Yeah, that was a cool way for them to close up the series and to highlight what you and Grubby had mentioned during the game about how it does feel like there's a dynamic here where both teams are really close in skill, but it's not the same type of skill. That Diamond Hands is the team that is winning through macro fairly consistently throughout the series, and Storm is the team that was kind of just winning most of the team fights throughout the series. And to see that the macro is actually more important, I think it was a very fitting way to end this series for Diamond Hands, to not even win it through a team fight, to win it through just all-inning the core, while Storm is kind of caught off guard at the boss. they sort of put them in a lose-lose situation once again, similarly to what they did on Garden, where you have just a checkmate situation. And yeah, it's just that Diamond Hand's macro was really nuts. I'm not sure who's actually doing the shot calling for the team. It felt like it was much more of a team-based system than what we heard when we listened to Storm. From Storm, it sounded a lot like Lauber kind of leading things and a lot more sort of just like reacting to things that they're doing, whereas Diamond Hands felt a little bit more balanced in the comms. It felt like there was a lot of people communicating things that they wanted to do, that they were trying to look for, and that kind of explains some of the macro advantage that Diamond Hands was getting, is you have a lot more sort of awareness of the map, maybe a little bit less than kind of the micro things like the team, like the cooldowns and stuff like that. This moment was where Storm had their opportunity to come back into the game. They get the attempted pick into Caesar Salad, which leads to an actual pick onto Brightwing. This was good CC coming out after the disc from CPX. That was a good disc, and they end up getting the Greymane pick here, which does lead to the boss. I thought this was a weird thing to do for Storm. They end up sacrificing the remaining top shots, even though they're in a 5v3. This was kind of the moment that I expected Storm to take the boss and just run it down bottom and just siege with it. I think that's what they needed to do in this situation, because against a Falstad, that was their only opportunity to get a boss with no Falstad able to contest it in a 5v3. And then this was the moment where the game really falls apart for Storm. This was the fight that lost them the game. You have Diamond Hands getting a insane counter engage and just picking off Hogger with the Greymane being able to just shred him in the backline. The attempted engage onto a Muradin for Storm with the Shockwave not working out, and an absolute just instant punish from Diamond Hands. And then you had what felt like desperation with Lauber coming back immediately. This is a 4v5. Brightwing is going to be able to Z in, and they're just opting to take this 4v5. They don't need to do this. They can give all of these shots and just play for the next boss and use that as a win condition. This was desperation by Storm. This felt like they were playing with their emotions as opposed to playing the game just objectively to win. This felt like they were drained mentally, and it has been a long series. This is game 5. Just not having that same level of mental fortitude that Diamond Hands had being displayed by Storm, and Diamond Hands picking them apart methodically with the macro, being able to end the game like that, really nuts. Really nice to see that, putting them in that lose-lose situation and just going all in for the core.
I'm still looking at some of the stats, and I'm just like, Brightwing, Heavy did fantastic. 63,000 healing compared to June's Lucio, which had about 40,000 if we're rounding up on both of those. So really good healing coming out from both sides. But of course, Heavy the one to really anchor for the team in that healing department. At this time, we actually have a interview ready to go, and we can bring Caesar Salad in with us, I do believe. Caesar Salad, how are you doing? Congratulations on your victory.
Hey, thank you, Bahamut. I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're wonderful, man. I gotta say, we've been talking about this for the past 5 games. I feel like I can hear the sigh in your voice. Like, I'm sure you're thankful to be done with that series and to be the winner of it. Do you feel that Diamond Hands is really matched into Storm, or can you talk about the matchup? Because we've been talking about this all day. Like, you two seem like some of the best matched teams, especially that Towers of Doom map where it was close in score the entire game almost.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like, if you think about it compared to like MMA, like Grappler versus Striker, it feels like they just want to brawl with us. And we kind of figured out that we need to do the opposite and kind of run them around the map. So it's an interesting matchup for sure.
And your macro play was beautiful. But of course, Justin, any questions for Caesar Salad?
So we saw you take the Blazeman tank in game 1, and we've seen a lot more priority onto Muradin as of late. I was just wondering what your thought is on kind of the general tank priority right now, because it feels a little bit different from last season.
Yeah, it feels like Mura, Joe, and Noob are kind of S tier. And then game 1, honestly, I think we thought it was a scrim still, so we were just like kind of trying stuff out. But they woke us up, made us get our head in the game.
All right, well, you definitely got your head in the game after you took that series right there. Grubby, any questions for Caesar Salad?
Yo, Caesar Salad, how much fun did you and Unaverted have on Alterac Pass with the Falling Sword hammer competition?
It was a lot of fun, and in an alternate universe, the game definitely goes way different, because I don't know if you guys paid attention to it, but I think I held my ult till level 11, because I was like, I'm so used to going Blessed Shield as main tank, but I think that game made us a lot of sense to go Falling Sword. So
it felt weird for you to give up almost any way to engage upon the opponent and fully lean into the battle plan, which you just mentioned, playing defensively against the brawling team.
Exactly. I mean, just because Blessed Shield's my usual pick, but you're right. Like, the logic checks out for going Falling Sword.
Isn't it hard in a game to suddenly go against your nature and intuition, which is like having an engaged method? And like, wouldn't you be fighting your muscle memory with that?
Yeah, no, it was really close. Like, just control one, auto reflex, but had to have the discipline to fit falling sword.
Worked really well.
Yeah, I feel like we've all been there before, where you're like, you're like control one, you're like, oh wait, I didn't want that, oopsie. So, man, I gotta say, seriously, your tanking was really, really great. Your overall team play was fantastic here, Caesar Salad from Diamond Hands. Before I let you skedaddle out of here or do any shoutouts, I am curious. You have a matchup next weekend on Saturday going up against Chili Mountain. Any thoughts going into that matchup?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'll be honest, my head's a little bit like tired from this set. So like, I mean, if you ask me who's on that team, I couldn't even tell you right now.
No worries at all. I just, I was like, I got you here. I might as well try and ask the question, but I understand you just played 5 games. You've been playing for nearly 3 hours straight, so I absolutely understand that you want to get out of here, get some pizza, and celebrate with your teams. Before I let you get out of here and go celebrate, any shouts that you'd like to give?
Yeah, of course. Shout out to Lauber for starting a little flame before the match. He definitely embarrassed me a few times, so respect to that. Definitely shout out to you guys, CCL, putting this on, of course. It's been a pleasure to participate. And then Twitch chat, and last but not least, the squad, Hebby, Unaverted, Filth, Kelsey, and Notori. And special shout out actually to Tempest. We brought him on as an analyst this season, and it's definitely helping us out, like think about the game a little differently. And of course, like our org, Chris Key managing.
Awesome. Well, definitely your macro adjustments were really, really strong, and we look forward to seeing you next weekend on Saturday in the second best of 5 up against Chili Mountain. Until then, good luck in your scrims and your practice, and congratulations once again on your Game 5 victory.
Thank you, guys.
All right, I can feel his energy like so low off that. Like I get it though. Like they put so much on the line for these games, and this was a series that it went Game 5, but like a lot of our maps were 22 minutes, 23 minutes. I mean, one of the maps I can't remember specifically was 26 minutes and 40 seconds. That's a long time to play one map in a best of 5. So I definitely can feel his energy on that one, and he is a little exacerbated from this series. But it was seriously a well-deserved victory and well played from the side of Diamond Hands. Now, I do wanna be clear with all of you at home. There is some unfortunate news. The members of Granite Gaming have opted to forfeit their matchup against Chili Mountain, so there won't be a second matchup of the day. But at this time, what we can talk about is going to be our favorite segment of HeroesCCL. Today right now is the super duper omega awesome grandiose Play of the Day, brought to you by Justing and Wisdom. Can you break this down for us, Justing?
So if we can go ahead and pause the clip at the start here, something that I'd mentioned in the draft is that there's not a lot of tools to stop just the massive storm if you are Diamond Hands. This was kind of the moment that in the super back and forth game, Storm Esports, kind of, they run out of steam here. This is their last big push before the squeeze comes from Diamond Hands. So we can go ahead and play this through. We have Lucio hitting the cleanse. Somehow the Stormbolt hits from Lauber, deleting Unaverted. And as soon as anything starts going wrong here, it's just disaster. It was a really good disc, too, used by CPX to kind of keep Caesar Salad constantly unaware. Like, he wants to go into bunker, but he can't, and it creates a problem for Notori as well. And you just have tons of dive coming out from different angles. So we had Swamp Grata and Lauber both going on different targets at the start, and then you have the just jump onto the backline into Heavy. And here we have the fadeaway Swamp Grata hitting Caesar Salad behind his gate, right there. This was kind of the end of this game, and this was also the last push for Storm. After this, Storm felt like they were kind of out of steam, and you notice that a lot of series like this really come down to momentum. And typically, something that you'll see if you follow the charts on Ball Street, before things reverse, there's usually some kind of wild move, and that was the wild move of the series. You had all of their effort being put into that final play to close out that game on Towers of Doom, and there was nothing left in the tank for the last 2 games. So Storm able to, or Diamond Hands rather, able to come back with those last 2 wins after that.
Seriously, it was a great series, and thank you as always, Justing, for breaking down our highlight of the day. What we can also highlight from today is going to be some of our standings when we can get that updated for all of you at home, because we know the results after everything is, as I mentioned, we do have that forfeits for one of the matches in the afternoon. But I gotta say, Grubby, like let's focus in on the thing that we did watch today. As we take a look at the standings, Grubby, could you break these down further? We can continue talking about Storm and Diamond Hands, but I want to take a look at these standings and what does everything look like at the end of week number 2 for us here?
Well, I think we have one little mistake here because I don't see Granite Gaming. I don't think they forfeited out of the league, right? Just one match.
No, I
twice.
think
They've transformed.
They've transformed, yes. But yeah, it's a little error right there. But yes, please.
We'll get back to that again as soon as we fix it. But Granite Gaming obviously is going to be 0-2, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I have to play this out of my head now. Diamond Hands won their match against Granite Gaming, and now they won against Storm. So they're going to be 2-0. So they're joining, and we can look at it again. They're joining that vaunted 2-0 spot together with 30k and WildHearth. So now we've got 3 ahead of the pack. WildHearth Esports, 30k and Diamond Hands. We've got Granite Gaming forfeiting and losing. Simplicity lost yesterday, and Storm lost today. Storm lost 2-3 today. They lost 1-3 last weekend. So they look strong. It's nothing like the score would suggest 0-2, like no good, whatever. No, they're good. It's just, it wasn't enough just right then and there. And Chili Mountain gets a free victory here. So it will still be very hard to gauge Chili Mountain as, yeah, we don't get to see them here. So we're going to have to wait until next weekend to see what they perform. Oxygen, they get to 1-1. They won 3-0 against Chili Mountain last week, and yesterday they lost 3-1 against a very strong-looking WildHearth. We kind of got the first little separation of the pack here in these standings after week number 2.
As we take a look at week number 3 schedule, I actually need to correct myself. I said Diamond Hands versus Chili Mountain. I actually had it backwards. I read my own notes backwards. We have Simplicity going up against Diamond Hands and Storm Esports going up against Chili Mountain. So we'll see Diamond Hands in our first best of 5 next Saturday. Justin, I'm sure you're excited for these matches and many more.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what Simplicity is going to look like in the next week. They've already made a big change, swapping Porky over to that flex position in this week, coming from last week with maybe not quite the level of success they would have wanted out of their match against WildHearth. So if the progression continues, it'll be cool to see how Simplicity is going to change for next week as well, going into Diamond Hands, who looked really good today. And then we have Storm versus Chili Mountain. Chili Mountain had played against Oxygen, and they did get swept. It was a 3-0 against Oxygen. But Chili Mountain was one of the teams that pretty much everyone had in their top 3 in their power rankings. So it'll be really exciting to see them get to play again against Storm, who has had close series, but has been unable to take it yet.
Well, yeah, we'll see if Storm Esports can take that victory, or if Chili Mountain will be the one to put up a victory. Both these teams sit, actually Storm sits winless, Chili Mountain 1-1. But of course, there's not just matches on Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. Grubby, we got Sunday matches as well. Who are we going to see on Sunday?
You guys ever heard of Sunday? It's the second day of the weekend, and we've got one next weekend as well. We're going to have a match between Granite Gaming, presumably, into Oxygen Esports, and 30k into WildHearth. That is going to be sick. 30k WildHearth are 2-0 teams in match scores. One of them will be the Highlander and absorb the youth of the other. And the other will be going to a 2-1 score. Not so extreme.
That's it, you know. And no, I just like the idea. It's just like they get absorbed, and that's your entire CCL Season 4 run. Just don't lose that matchup. But no, absolutely no. I think next weekend we're gonna have some really, really great matchups, and we had some amazing games this weekend as well. It's been a really, really fun weekend of games. And before we start to completely sign off here, I do want to get some takeaways from both of you, whether it be from today's match, or the entire weekend, or just anything. Thoughts here, Justin, on week number 2 of HeroesCCL.
Macro is extremely important. We saw Diamond Hands basically win exclusively through macro on Garden of Terror, and put a big emphasis on it in the last game as well, on Sky Temple being able to end the game without an actual team fight. Something that I've had some gripes with is that even if you are ahead, typically you end up in a position where you have to take a 5v5 at level 20 to kind of determine the game in a lot of game states. But they were able to manipulate the game state so that there was no 50-50 team fight that they had to take by just going for core there. And I really like seeing that evolution of macro from Diamond Hands is really nice to see. And Diamond Hands and WildHearth were the teams that had the best macro, in my opinion, from these past 2 weeks, and it's fitting to see them in the top 3 because of it.
Grubby, any takeaways, thoughts from the weekend?
We finally got to see Sergeant Hammer. It wasn't by Nick, but it was banned often against Nick. It was the same build. Right before CCL started, I had Nick in my Storm League game. He used this exact same build with the splash damage, no unstoppable, ultra capacitors. We finally got to see it. That's the build he would probably play as well, and it's a solo lane efficient build. It was 1 win in a 3-2 score, so basically Sergeant Hammer was the reason for the victory here for Diamond Hands. So my takeaway is everyone should start playing loads of Sergeant Hammer in Storm League. Don't be worried about no counters.
There you go. You'll never be countered at all. You just run it down bottom. You'll be just like unaverted, and you'll be able to take the map for your team. I had to say, I had some great fun casting with both of you as always, and it's been fun to just watch some Heroes of the Storm and put on a great show for everyone at home. From Justin, Grubby, myself, the Wisdom family, we thank you all so much for watching HeroesCCL. We thank you so much for supporting the scene, the prize pool, and everything in between. And the biggest shout out I have to say is to all of you at home for watching. Thank you for supporting. As I've already said, we'll see you next weekend, May 21st and 22nd, for 2 best of 5s on Saturday, 2 best of 5s on Sunday. And until then, stay safe, drink some water, and we'll see you in the Nexus. Good night.